In San Francisco, where the forecast is for rain. What appears to be David and Goliath was actually Goliath and Goliath just 2 years ago. But while San Francisco remains among the NFL's elite, Carolina has crumbled to 1-7. Josh Lewin along with Ray Bentley. Welcome to our coverage of Fox NFL Sunday. The 49ers are 6-2, but they're concerned, especially after what just happened in Green Bay.
Right, Josh, and the thing the 49ers have to do is get over the Green Bay hangover. Now, Steve Mariucci, not prone to give a lot of speeches, sat him down this week and said, we've got to start doing the little things right. They blew extra points. They've had way too many penalties. They've blown coverages. To be a championship football team, the Niners have to take care of the little things.
And the big thing today for the 49ers is that Steve Young is listed as the number 3 quarterback. He is out with the abdominal strain. Ty Detmer, another BYU guy, goes instead.
And they'll be all right with Ty Detmer. He has 7 years in this offense, but they have to help him out. How do you do that? Well, you got to run the football, and that guy is going to be Garrison Hurst. Now, they've reshuffled the offensive line, and how do you help those guys? Get them going forward, not backwards. The Niners have to run the football today.
Now, meantime, the Panthers are dead last in the league running the football, so do we look to Steve Berline to put it in the air?
I think so. He's got a couple of nice receivers, but this is becoming Steve Berline's football team. After the Kerry Collins incident, they have rallied around Steve Berline. The communication is much better, and they have a lot of confidence in Steve Berline and his ability to get it done. But the key to this ball game for the 49ers, they have to be able to run the football and eat up the clock on the ground with the new quarterback in. For the Carolina Panthers, they've got to force the turnovers, and then more importantly, turn those turnovers into points.
49ers come in with a 12-game regular season home winning streak. The last team to come on in here and win, the Carolina Panthers. Kickoff is next on Fox.
1, 2, 3.
San Francisco begins a half game behind Atlanta. The Falcons about to end it against New England. A 41-10 score right now. Big day for Jamal Anderson. Hope you saw his profile on the pregame show today. Dallas and the New York Giants. This one goes to the Cowboys as Emmitt Smith runs for 163 yards. And he is now Dallas's all-time leading rusher. The rest of the scores, feast your eyes on what has been a very interesting day of football early. And it could be a soggy day late. Showers all around us, Ray, but right now we're dry.
And, you know, the bus driver, I talked to the bus driver, and he's the guy who always has the inside on the weather. He said if it clouds up and the fog comes in, and the fog is the key, you'll get some rain here this afternoon.
You got your poncho? You ready?
I don't know about poncho. I like it out in the rain. I got the shoes off. I'm ready for that.
Barefoot in the park with Ray Bentley. Michael Bates is deep. And Wade Ritchie will kick it off. The Carolina Panthers, perhaps a good omen. They won the coin toss last week, and they won their first game. That against New Orleans. Underway from 3Com Park. And it is Bates on the run. He'll cut. Swerving outside, brought down around the 25. 14-yard return for Michael Bates. And Steve Berline will lead the offense for the Carolina Panthers today. He completed his first 7 passes against New Orleans last week. The Panthers cruised to a 14-point win. Both these teams making changes on the offensive line. Blake Brockermeyer is playing with the flu bug today. Norberto Davids-Garrido on the other tackle. With Lane and Floyd in the backfield, those great receivers, Muhammad and Ismail. Wesley Walls, the former 49er, is a tight end. Walls in motion. And the handoff to Lane, he is clobbered for no gain. That 49er defense, which was first in the NFL last year, has dipped to 20th this year. Chris Dolman, Junior Bryant Young, and Roy Barker are the big guys up front. Winfred Tubbs trying to step in for Gary Plummer. That's not an easy thing to do, he's finding. He's got to be the traffic cop there in the middle. These guys have been scorched lately in the secondary. 2 tight ends set for Carolina. Berline drills it, and it looks like a first down for the Panthers. Wesley Walls has been calling it to get more into the offense, and he is found right away today.
And I think Steve Berline's trying to go to Rocket Ishmael, and he runs dead into the official. San Francisco's got 12 defenders on this play. Here's the Rocket coming in motion. Now watch right in the middle of your screen. He's going to get picked by the official in there. And so now Berline has to go one level deeper, and that's where he finds Walls for the tight end.
Floyd and Lane in the eye for Carolina. And Lane trying to barrel through there. once again is dragged back.
Carolina started out this season losing 7 straight, 5 of those games by less than 7 points, and they felt they were in them to the end. And Dom Capers says he expects his team will be better in the second half of the season. They've got 24 new faces. They have a new offense. Gil Haskell comes over from Green Bay, and they put the West Coast offense in. So it takes time for a team to meld together, but they think they're starting to get that, and they expect to have a better football team in the second half of the season.
Offset eye and 2 wide receivers. Berline looking, trying to go up top. Pope is beaten. And the pass is completed to Muhammad. A first down for Carolina. We thought we might see a lot of that kind of action here today early.
Muhsin Muhammad is becoming an excellent football player. Now, he just runs by Marquez Pope. Pope had that happen to him last week. Antonio Freeman got him for a couple. But this is just a nice throw from Steve Berline. He has the time. Here they are up top. And look, he just runs by him. Pope kind of takes the inside away, forcing him outside, but Muhammad just blows by Marquez Pope for a huge gain.
33-yard pickup. Remember how the Niners started last week. In the first 2 minutes, they allowed the 80-yard touchdown on the first play from scrimmage, in fact. 3 wide receivers for the Panthers here driving. Berline over the middle. He's got Muhammad again. Still picking on Marquez Pope, another big gainer. And another first down.
So you get burned, what do? You back off a little bit. Marquez Pope, look at the cushion, look at that distance. And so now the slant comes open. You just duck inside of Marquez Pope, and now you've got another play, and they're really working over on that corner on San Francisco. And Marquez Pope, you know, you got to give him a little bit of slack because he's been injured last week. He had cramps, and he's had a bad back. That happened way back in August, and he's just now getting back into the rhythm.
And off goes to Fred Lane. No sail as he is clobbered by Winfred Tubbs. Try to establish the run. They've got to at least attempt to do that, you would think, Ray. Dom Capers a big proponent of running the ball 30 times or more. That's in a perfect world, but as you mentioned, if you've got the secondary that is suspect right now, as San Francisco does, do you not go more with the pass than the run?
Yeah, Corbin Lacine is down, but that's the magic number for Carolina. They want to get the ball on the ground 30 times a game.
And as they tend to Corbin Lacine, we'll peel away for a moment. Carolina driving early in San Francisco.
Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco, California, as Corbin Lacine knocked out of this one early. And what happens a lot of times when you're an offensive lineman, you'll get hit from the backside. Watch Corbin Lacine. Stop it right there. Look at this leg right here. Ken Norton's going to come through and land on that leg. And now the whole pile lands on it and gets bent backwards.
Anthony Redmond in for Lacine. Berline 3 for 3 so far today, 4 for 4. The short pass to Fred Lane. His first reception of the afternoon. Berline, who again had the big start against New Orleans, one of the many 30-something quarterbacks having standout seasons.
Oh, yeah. That's what a real deal.
Blake Brockermeyer, he took a shot here, and this was already an injury-riddled Carolina offensive line, and now to have 2 guys go out in your first drive, boy, you're going to be in some big trouble. Now, Rob Bollinger has started for Brockermeyer a couple of times this year, and they like him. They think he'll be able to go, but when you start putting new guys in the offensive line early in a game, that's going to be problems.
Bollinger, the biggest, that is tallest player in the league at 6'9". Looks like he may be called on here for Brockermeyer.
Blake Brockermeyer, former #1 pick, started all the games as a rookie, only 13 games the following year, but they like him. They think that he's a guy that can really protect the backside of your quarterback, being the left tackle.
He's been battling through a knee injury as it is. 2 weeks ago did what the Niners' Jamie Brown couldn't do earlier this year. That is to do a great job on Bruce Smith.
Brockermeyer's been playing excellent football lately, and that'll be a devastating loss to this offensive line when you pile that on top of Corbin Lacine being out of the game.
So 2 of the starting offensive linemen already to the sidelines. Nickel coverage here. The 5 defensive backs on 3rd and 9. Walker on the cover. And Carolina will look to go up 3-0 instead of 7-0.
And Wesley Wallace just to the corner working on Merton Hanks. And I tell you, this is real close to being a touchdown. Just a little bit overthrown by Steve Berline because, yeah.
John Casey will attempt a 32-yard field goal. Remember, San Francisco, and they take to the offense, will be led by Ty Detmer today and not Steve Young. Blocked. Princeton Buckner got the paw on it. And we stay scoreless here in San Francisco.
Princeton Buckner had great penetration and then just got the big arm up. And it's almost, sometimes it's almost lucky when a guy blocks a kick because, you know, your arm isn't that wide. Now watch Buckner. He's going to pop through the middle right there and get the arm up. Now that ball could go anywhere, but it goes right into the arm of Princeton Buckner.
Carolina, San Francisco, still no score. Gives to Garrison Hurst, who peels around tackle. And there is a flag on the play. Princeton Buckner had the big block, keeping this game scoreless.
They're going to get the Niner offensive line on a holding call.
Ed Hockley, the referee this afternoon.
Holding, offense number 64, 10-yard penalty, repeat first down.
Not just a brand new quarterback in Detmer, but a brand new center, Steve Gordon. He is the one call.
Let's go back to this block. What you've got is a couple guys, linebackers in here, and they are going to push Princeton Buckner. Now, it's a thankless job. You get behind there, and you're pushing a guy on the backside, but sometimes it pays off. And Roberto Davids-Garrido was on skates. I mean, they just blow this thing right through the gap, and Buckner gets the big hand up.
Niners rev it up, 1st and 20. Another flag flies as they whistle it down.
And this will be on the Niners again, and this is how they started their game in Buffalo when they lost to the Bills up in Orchard Park. Just one mistake after another.
Before the ball was snapped, false start, offense number 20, 5-yard penalty, it's still first down.
This is what prompted the Vince Lombardi speech from Steve Mariucci, the longtime Green Bay Packer fan growing up, and of course a former Packer employee. He gathered the troops together Friday at 9 a.m. and said, look, this self-inflicted stuff has got to stop.
And it really has been a kind of a knife in the back of the 49ers, and they've stuck it in their own back, and that's one thing you can fix, and that's the good news.
Nickel coverage on 1st and 25 with a handoff to Hurst, who plows his way to the 13-yard line. Mike Barrow on the stop. And San Francisco with, again, not Steve Young today, but Ty Detmer. He is 31 years old. He has been there, done that as an NFL starter. Shuffling on the offensive line, Kirk Scrafford out of retirement there at right tackle, bumping Derek Deese to the left side. Hurst and Edwards in the backfield, Rice and Stokes. The starting wide receivers, Greg Clark instead of Herb Smith at tight end. 3 wide receivers set for the Niners. 2nd and 22. Detmer in the pocket. And Clark couldn't handle it.
Open.
Now defensively for Carolina, Mike Fox. Instead of Morabito there in the middle at nose tackle today with Gilbert and Peter flanking him. Greg Lloyd, Mike Barrow, Jeff Brady, and Kevin Green, who leads the NFL in sacks with 12. Secondary featuring Doug Evans and the former 49er Eric Davis on the other corner. Alexander and Richardson, the youngsters in the middle.
This is a guy we got to watch all day long, Kevin Green. He plays with the fire and the emotion and the intensity that everyone you talk to, everybody loves Kevin Green, and that's the reason.
3 wide receivers set, 3rd and 22. And again, Detmer overthrows, that time looking for J.J. Stokes. And the Niners will kick it away, a sloppy start offensively.
See, and that got them in a hole. Now, they come out and they want to run the football, and they do on the first play, and Garrison Hurst gets a couple yards, but they get a hold, and then they get another penalty. Now you're in an obvious pass situation, and Carolina can play the pass, and now you've got a new quarterback coming in Ty Detmer, and he's just a little bit off early. And to get him settled down, you've got to have some success running the football.
Roby sends it out to Winslow Oliver, backtracking to the 37. Finds a seam, and he gallops out to the 40. He spins to the 35-yard line. The Carolina Panthers will have terrific field position. It was big Mark Edwards who made the stop. Panthers back to work. No score in San Francisco. Drops the football. And the Panthers have recovered it. The big guy, Bollinger.
Look up here. Roy Barker is the guy who's going to end up getting it. Now, Beuerlein wants the tight end down there. It's actually, there's Barker right there, and he knocks the ball loose, and it's on the ground. And this is the kind of pass rush that the 49ers have had all season. The one thing they're doing better than they did last year on defense is get after the quarterback, and that's a big thing because Dana Stubblefield is no longer in that lineup. They're getting it from Dolman and Barker.
Blaine goes in motion. Beuerlein incomplete. Muhammad seemed to have a beat on it. Went off his fingers and dropped. Dolman with that sack on the play before. The Niners are leading the NFC in sacks this year. One of the few things they have been doing well defensively.
They have really gotten after the quarterback, and they've done it with the front four. You go across that front four. Barker's got 9.5. Bryant Young, 6.5 sacks. Junior Bryant with 4. Chris Dolman with 8. They're getting the rush with just the guys up front.
On 3rd and 20, the quick hit will not be enough. Mark Carrier made the catch. But on a drive that started from the 35, they end up only at the 33.
What they have is Mark Carrier is in the slot, and there is nobody up on him. The nearest defender is way back here. So you watch, they're just going to, this is an audible at the line. Beuerlein says, all right, no one's on him. We'll pump it in there, and we'll see if we can get in field goal range with a quick shot.
50-yard field goal attempt, and this is within range for John Casey. High snap. Left-footed kick is good. So the Panthers do have that 3-0 lead that they could not get on their first drive. Casey nails it. And now the Niners back on offense after this on Fox. Jerry Rice jersey, Jamiroquai hat here at 3 Cobb Park. It is 3-0 in favor of Carolina on a day that is expected to be somewhat damp. The 4-play 3-yard drive, R.W. McQuarters. The rookie is deep for San Francisco.
And on that field goal, give a big assist to the holder. Ken Walter did a nice job of bringing it down, allowing Casey to get it off in time.
McQuarters from the goal line. Stutter step, and he spins. Trying to slither past the 20-yard line. The stop made by Spencer Reed.
Ty Detmer has played in the West Coast offense 7 years. And he started 7 games last year for Philadelphia. Had a 2-5 record as a starter. But here in San Francisco, they're very confident that he can run this offense. He makes nice decisions. He gives you some different things than Steve Young will give you. He won't be able to scramble out and make big plays in terms of running around, but he'll sit in there and he'll read the progression and he'll get the ball out on time.
Irv Smith, the tight end, in motion. The handoff to Garrison Hurst. And he's ahead to the 24-yard line. Changes at quarterback, also changes on the offensive line today. You saw big number 76, Kirk Scrafford. This was last week in Green Bay.
Right, and they did a little flip-flop there with Scrafford and Deese, and that's how they lined up last season. And the other one is Steve Gordon makes his first NFL start at center. And the big problem, according to Bob McKittrick, the offensive line coach, is a feel. These guys, he'll make the right calls, he'll be in the right spot, but will he have the right feel as far as staying with the guy long enough?
Detmer, the quick hit to the tight end, Irv Smith. And he lunges to the 32-yard line. 8-yard pickup.
Detmer finally settles in it and makes a nice throw. Now Irv Smith is going to be running away from the coverage of Mike Barrow, the linebacker, and that's just a foot race to the sideline, and Barrow's going to get there just a little bit late. But this is what you want to do. Throw some easy ones, let him dump it outside, and let the quarterback build some confidence.
Not easy to replace Brent Jones, but Smith giving it a decent shot. 3 wide receivers set, and Denver scrambling. Avoids Green for the moment and dumps it over the middle. He's got Stokes.
Well, Kevin Green almost gets a hold of Ty Detmer. And as soon as I tell you Detmer can't do things in terms of escaping, he does. And what happens is Kevin Green jumps inside the block from the back. Garrison Hurst coming out, and now his angle's all wrong, and he can't change his direction soon enough to get the hands on Detmer. And this is an easy throw.
Kevin Green with the dozen sacks. He's on a pace for 24. That would be an NFL record. On 2nd and 4, Hurst trying to sweep around. He is there for the first down. Damian Richardson from behind made the tackle, an 8-yard pickup.
This is nice blocking on the perimeter, on the edge, on the right side by the 49ers. And Mark Edwards, the fullback, who leads around there, kind of seals it off. But here you got Greg Clark working on Kevin Green, and you got to hook him, which means you got to hold him and not let him get outside. And then the finish comes from Mark Edwards, because he really didn't have Kevin Green hooked, but Edwards gets the hook and turns that corner, and now Hurst gets it around outside for the first down.
And Clark blocking Green is something he did in practice all last year right here at San Francisco. 1st and 10, 49ers. 3 wide receivers, Hurst in the backfield. The slant to Stokes across the 45. And Doug Evans on the stop, 11-yard gain, a first down.
And this is an audible from Ty Detmer. He saw that he had the man coverage on the outside, so he wants to bring everybody inside. He takes pre-snap in the slot receivers, he widens them out to spread that defense out, and then they run inside, and the outside guys, everyone runs inside on the slant, and there's holes there, and Detmer delivers.
Rice and Owens are wide for San Francisco. Blitz coming, Brady shooting in there, but San Francisco able to avoid anything completely ridiculous as Detmer was able to make the handoff.
We talked with Jeff Brady yesterday, and he says when Vic Fangio, the defensive coordinator for Carolina, calls my number, I'm ready. And he was ready that time. He had a nice jump and perfect timing on his blitz. He just didn't make the play in the backfield, but he did cause enough mayhem back there to limit it to just a 1-yard gain.
Brady playing his last game as a 20-something linebacker. Tomorrow celebrating the big 3-0.
He wasn't too happy about that either. He felt like he doesn't want to age gracefully.
On 2nd and 9. Here comes the rush again. And Hurst, the closest receiver to it. Sean Gilbert led the charge that time.
And Sean Gilbert breaks this screen up single-handedly. Now on the screen, you want some penetration. Here's Gilbert right there. And he gets inside and he breaks through there, and that's just too quick because Detmer's trying to fake it one side and they come back with the screen the other way, and they had something, but Sean Gilbert took it away with the inside penetration.
And again, the offensive line among the big questions for San Francisco right now. The secondary has been a problem. The penalties continue to be a problem, especially on that first drive today.
On a pace to set an NFL record for penalties are the 49ers.
3 wide receivers on 3rd and 9. Detmer with the pump fake. Intercepted. Tony Veland made the pick. And it is brought back 23 yards. Carolina has it going on here early in San Francisco. That 12-game home winning streak in the regular season being thought about right now.
Smartest army in the world. Be all you can be. By Saturn, makers of the world's first 3-door coupe. Why didn't anyone think of this before? By Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Dr. Pepper, this is the taste. And by Visa, the preferred card of the NFL. It's everywhere you want to be.
Atlanta has already won today. San Francisco a half game in back of the Falcons, who they will get next week here on Fox, and it has not gone well early.
The thing I talked about in the open is the turnovers. Carolina's forced a turnover, and now they have to make points out of it.
Walls, the tight end, goes in motion. And to the I-back, Fred Lane. He is wrestled down. And we'll take you back to the interception after Brian Young made that stop.
You're going to see a safety blitz. Damian Richardson's going to come in right on this angle, and it's actually going to be picked up nicely by Garrison Hurst. But Ty Detmer has to pull it back down, and then he doesn't get reset to make the throw. And watch, he's going to look for Jerry Rice right here. And this is going to be a high ball, the third high ball Detmer's thrown. I mean, Rice can't even make a play on it. And Veland's sitting there as a safety, and it's a gift.
Detmer 3 out of 7 for 24 yards and the pick. On to 2nd and 9. Berline out of the pocket. And to the 40 and beyond. Fred Lane trying to high-step his way, getting to the sideline. Finally dragged down there. Tim McDonald had to come over to make the stop.
And this is what a veteran quarterback will give you. Steve Berline is cool in the pocket. Everything's covered up. He's got nice protection, and he ends up going to the check down. The last man in his progression. Dump it out to Fred Lane and let him do what he does best, and that's run people over in the secondary, and Lane picks up the first.
Now, Berline does not have a contract for next season, but you figure he will if he has a big second half. From the eye with Floyd and Lane. And it is the former Niner, William Floyd, very close to that San Francisco sideline.
Watch this Fox box. This will flip around on you all day long, and there's a good reason for that. The X-Files season premiere.
I'm pumped.
Coming up tonight, and I know that's a huge one, and it's very exciting. You can flip that thing back now if you want. So thank you very much. We got a football game here.
The truth is out there, but it is hidden now by the score. Carolina 3, San Francisco nothing. Late first quarter. And on 2nd and 7 again from the eye. Ismail in motion. And Lane finds the seam. Lowers his head and he gets close to the first down at the 25-yard line. Ken Norton Jr. in there to make the hit.
And this is a nice job of Fred Lane using his vision and finding a running lane. Now, this play is designed to go outside, and all the linemen will work parallel to the line. You step out wide to the right, and you try and sell everybody that you're getting outside, and the defense will overreact, and that's when the cutback comes on.
By the way, Corbin Lucina back into the game for Carolina. Bollinger remains in there for Brockermeyer. Both these teams have been carved up in terms of injuries to the offensive line.
They're going to be just short of the first down. Brings up 3rd and inches, but in this drive, Carolina has come up with a couple of nice runs, and they're really, if you look at the statistics, they're a passing football team. But last week, their only win of the year, Fred Lane carried the ball 35 times himself. That's a Carolina record, and they feel like, and this is Dom Capers. He feels like we've got to run the football. Now you bring Gil Haskell in, bring the West Coast offense in, and now you got to find what your mix is going to be. And they're getting back towards running the football more, and they're having success.
Broughton in as his second tight end. 3rd and very short. It goes to Floyd, and he has got the first down. Ken Norton Jr., the leading tackler for the 49ers, wrapped him up.
And this is just a nice job by Frank Garcia and Brian Stoltenberg, the center, Garcia, the left guard, and they just push the Niners off the football, and they make room for William Floyd. And if they're going to have success today, they need to win more than they lose that battle up front.
Floyd, known as bar none here in San Francisco after his agent described him as the best fullback in football, bar none.
And William Floyd, he loves that kind of stuff, but he does a nice thing. He has a bar none foundation here in San Francisco that helps a lot of underprivileged kids.
From the 23, 1st and 10, Lane from the backfield in motion, fumble. And Carolina is on it. It was Norberto Davids-Garrido who dropped on it to end this first quarter.
And Chris Dolman lit him up from the backside, and they got lucky.
One of the best fumble forcers in football brings us to the end of the first quarter. 3-0 Carolina. Fox NFL Sunday continues after these messages and a word from your local Fox station.
Over the top and knock Bollinger's hands away right there, and now he's just got it. It's all his. So you come in the backside on a quarterback, and it's pretty much over at that point.
Brings up 2nd down and 20 for Carolina. The Panthers lead at 3-0 here at 3Com Park. Berline with time has his man. That's Muhammad again. Gain of 9, and Blake Brockermeyer with a sprained knee. Questionable, we're told, in terms of returning to this game today. He's also got the flu.
That could be bad news for Carolina because Rob Bollinger is a rookie, and he's working on Chris Dolman, who is a 14-year NFL veteran who knows all the tricks. And Dolman already got to the quarterback, Steve Berline, on the last play. And this is a matchup that is worth watching because Dolman may just have a field day here.
Two tight ends with Lane in the backfield on 3rd and 10. Berline just gets it away. It is short. Norton was there on the coverage. Muhammad, the intended receiver.
And this is great pressure up the middle from the 49er defense getting on Steve Berline, and he didn't have a chance. He just tried to dish this thing out and get it out as quick as he could and make something happen. It's good pressure again, and it's just the front four of the 49ers that is generating a rush right now.
John Casey into the game to attempt the field goal. He has had one blocked and he nailed one from 50. This one is from 42. Ken Walter to hold. It is good. It is 6-0 Carolina. 2 out of 3 ain't bad in the field goal department, and the Panthers in front. With the NFL's #1 offense, but so far today without Steve Young, just 39 yards, and they are down 6-0.
Yeah, and they really hurt themselves more than anything. The penalties have taken them out of it, and then Ty Detmer has overthrown his receiver 3 times, and they haven't gotten the ball into the hands of Jerry Rice at all yet today.
R.W. McQuarters running up to it at the 15. Flag is down as McQuarters cuts back inside. It gets to the 35, gets to the 40. He is gone, but there is a flag down. McQuarters heading for the end zone.
Yeah, but it's coming back. It's a clip at the 20-yard line.
That will negate an 85-yard return. Would have been the first return for a touchdown for McQuarters. Self-in ones that cut the deepest.
And San Francisco is the worst team in the NFL in part of the penalties they get on returns, and this was a very costly one.
During the return, illegal block in the back, receiving team number 28. 10-yard penalty, field first down.
That's the special teams specialist, Buckley. There it was, and there it went. Still 6-0. The sack master, Kevin Green, the former 49er, part of a defense that has been digging in here against the Niners today.
Look at these penalties. I mean, the 49ers are hurting themselves, and it's another special teams mistake. And Steve Mariucci sat him down this week. May have to sit him down again and even get a little more into them as far as cleaning up their own mistakes, because that's what's killing the 49ers.
Stokes in motion. Detmer drills it. And the first catch for Jerry Rice today. He's had at least one catch in 186 consecutive games now, an NFL record.
In this, go ahead, Josh. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry too.
We're all sorry.
I'll buy some dinner afterwards. Tonight, after an all-new World's Funniest, the star-studded Simpsons, then the funniest at 70 show of the season, then the big event, the X-Files season premiere.
All right, you got it. I can't promise.
Denver trying to airmail it far side, and J.J. Stokes, was he in or out? He was in at the 37-yard line. $15-yard pickup as Detmer rainbowed it towards the sideline.
And Doug Evans can't believe it. Now here's Evans working on Stokes, and the little hand fighting going on. Stokes goes up, and this is a nice throw, and it's hard to tell from that angle, but it looks like he did get the foot in bounds. But this is a nice throw from Detmer, and that's 2 in a row, and he's starting to settle in.
Evans, remember, playing with a broken thumb. He was the man on coverage. Here comes the blitz. And down goes Ty Detmer. It was Barrow who cruised in. That is his 3rd sack of the season.
This is both linebackers coming in, a little crossfire stunt. There goes Brady, and now Barrow's going to come in behind him right here. And he comes late. It's delayed. Now, Ty Detmer, he's got time. They pick it up. They got to get rid of this football. And Mike Barrow, I tell you what, he ran Mark Edwards completely over. Mark Edwards has got to have a grass stain on his backside. Mike Barrow lit him up.
And it's now 2nd and 16. The ball is on the 31. Detmer in the pocket. And he'll be picked off again, Jeff Brady. Getting to the 35, and he makes a move. He is across to the 23-yard line as Detmer has been picked off twice.
And that's a terrible mistake from the young quarterback. He's young, yeah, he's got 7 years in the league, but he doesn't have that many snaps. Now, he had Mark Edwards open for the dump off, the check down, and Edwards had room to roll. Instead, Detmer tries to force it in up the field, and it doesn't happen. See Mark Edwards leaking out. Nobody's around him, but Detmer forces it in, tries to go for the tight end Clark, and it's a terribly thrown football, and Ty Detmer is coming undone.
Gabe Wilkins enters the game for San Francisco on that front line. Matched up against Bollinger. Berline looking to put it to the air. Dumps it out to Lane, who slips, and he is dropped at the 21.
And he took a shot from Roy Barker, but that is the difference in our two quarterbacks here this afternoon. Steve Berline knows where the check down is. He knows when things are covered up down the field, he knows where to dump it off, where to get rid of this thing and salvage it. And Ty Detmer hasn't been able to do that. And they are missing Steve Young right now.
Meantime, for Carolina, Berline, who leads the league in terms of passing efficiency, is completing 66.5%. He is 9 for 12 today. Lane in the backfield. Berline to the air, and that is caught by a diving Rocket Ismail. Nope. Skipped it in there, so they say incomplete.
Boy, and Ishmael turned Darnell Walker all the way around on this. A nice little head fake inside. Watch this head fake. He's going to come in and fake it inside, and then Walker, you know what his problem was? His eyes were in the backfield and not on his receiver. And then his feet slipped up in the air, and they're fortunate that that ball wasn't on target. Trying to lasso it between the legs. There are a lot of different ways to catch a football. But Darnell Walker has been playing better than really anybody for the 49ers in that defensive backfield. I think Tim McDonald's playing well, but Darnell Walker at the corner is playing good football.
Walls in motion. Carolina 1 out of 4, completing on the 3rd down. Here's a little hit, and it's Ismail into the end zone. Touchdown. 20 yards for the score as the Rocket bolts into the end zone to make it a 12-0 game.
Carolina gets the turnover, and then they get points off the turnover, and that's how they've beaten the 49ers here twice at 3Com Park. And Rocket Ismail does a nice job. He's got man-to-man coverage, cuts across the middle, and outruns the man covering him and bolts into the end zone. And the 49ers are in disarray.
Casey on for the point after. And he smacks it up and through. Would you believe? With 11:07 to play in the second quarter, a 13-0 lead for Carolina.
Past him, and now it's open field, a little cutback, and he finds pay dirt.
Tim McDonald was telling us Friday, whereas Masin Muhammad tries to push you around, Ismail just tries to fly by you, and that's exactly what happened there. Is again, the San Francisco secondary poses a lot of question marks all around the Bay Area. McQuarters from the 4-yard line. Tripped up as he gets across the 15. Just a return of 12. And as Ismail made it into the end zone, Carolina has made the lead 13-0 on the 49ers. One today, those are not Falcons right there, but the 49ers in a hole, they're used to that. Having to battle back from down 16-0 last weekend in Green Bay. They did that to take a 22-19 lead, and then they folded. From the 16, it is Ty Detmer who hands it off to Hurst, and he plows to the 23-yard line. Brent Alexander on the stop.
And this is what they need to do, the Niners need to do, because you look at the comparison, and Ty Detmer is way behind what Steve Berline's getting done, the 2 interceptions. And I don't think the 49ers are at a point now where they have to get away from the running game. It's only 13 points. If they can come down, you know, they're within 2 touchdowns. But you've got to stop the mistakes. And to do that, run the football a little bit. See if you can get it going on the ground. And they do.
Indeed, Garrison or Hurst, first down yardage. Dragged down by the former 49er, Eric Davis, pickup of 9. Now, the last time the 49ers had a home game, it was a team with 1 win who wandered in here. Indianapolis went up 21-0 on them. San Fran came back.
Well, this is just a nice job by the offensive line, creating a huge hole in the middle of the line of scrimmage, and then Garrison Hurst, he'll wiggle through there every time. You give him just a little crack, and he'll make it into something.
Close set, and Brady showing blitz. Hurst dragged down at the 30-yard line. That was Mike Fox, the former New York Giant. Dom Capers considers his Mr. Steady. Nothing spectacular, but he will not make mistakes.
And this is just a run blitz coming, both linebackers shooting up the middle. And what it does, here's Mike Fox right here in the middle. And watch him, he's going to cut across. Now, they try to leg whip him, go down low, and he's not having any of that. It actually was a poor effort of trying to get low on him, and that's the center, Steve Gordon, and Fox just blows through the middle.
Second and 13. Clark in motion, and Rice had it thrown behind him. Jerry Rice couldn't bring it in. He holds with just 1 reception today. And now for a Fox game break, here's Joe Buck in Hollywood.
Josh, you already mentioned that the Falcons have won. Let's show you a big reason why. Again, Jamal Anderson, another 100-yard day. This a 10-yard scamper. He had 2 touchdowns this afternoon. The Falcons now 7-2. A big showdown next week at home against San Francisco on Fox. Back to Josh and Ray.
We will have it for you right here. And the surprising Atlanta Falcons, I don't know if that description even does them justice right now. 7-2 with Anderson and Chandler.
Dan Reeves has that team believing.
Good night. Ty Detmer dragged down at the 26-yard line, and who else but Kevin Green.
His 13th sack, and he's getting a round of boos from the crowd. And they know Kevin Green very well here. And Green really wasn't the man responsible, because there's a lot of pressure that forces Detmer to run up in the pocket. And that's how Green falls off and gets himself a kind of a cheap sack, an easy sack. But boy, you'll take anyone you can get.
Reggie Roby to punt it away to Winslow Oliver. And from his 24-yard line, Oliver trying to maneuver upfield, breaks a tackle, and then is stopped at the 36. San Francisco, which had been 3 and out only 18 times all year coming in, has already been 3 and out 3 times today. Been able to pounce on either of the 2 fumbles that he has caused.
Yeah, Chris Dolman is giving Rob Bollinger a lesson. Bollinger, the rookie who's filling in for the injured Blake Brockermeyer. And Dolman took the last few series off. They worked Gabe Wilkins in, but now Dolman's back in it.
From the eye with the rocket in motion. Lane finds a hole. He's across to the 37.
Take a look at Chris Dolman and the work that he has done so far this afternoon. It's just basically getting it on the outside. Forces 1 fumble. Carolina falls on it. Comes up with another fumble. Carolina falls on it. And right now, the Niners need to make a play on one of those loose balls. And you see Chris Dolman climbs up. He's now tied with Richard Denton. Kevin Green's trying to keep that space between them. He has a sack this afternoon as well.
2nd and 9 with the tight end Walls in motion. Ball is dropped, and Berline has to dive back on it. We were talking about Chris Dolman 2 years ago. He was left for dead by the Falcons. They thought at 35 he was too old, and they were wrong. He has averaged nearly a sack a game since coming to San Francisco. And of course, next week here on Fox, he'll match up against the team that let him go.
And you know he'll be ready for that one. Chris Dolman's an interesting fellow. I had a chance to talk with him, and he says when he's done with football, he's probably going to go into the car business. A dealership, own a dealership, and his kids want him to keep playing, but he thinks this is going to be it for him. This may be his last year.
14 years, 8 Pro Bowls. Will he go to the Super Bowl again? Berline on 3rd and 14, drills it to Muhammad. He was able to shake off Marquez Pope, and he shakes forward past Bronson as well.
And this is just a great throw from Steve Berline, because Muhammad, you know, they're on the same page. They're working together very nicely. And Muhammad talked about the communication that happens between the two of them. But this is a rocket. Now, when you throw it on the sidelines, usually you're going to lay it up, put some air under it, and let your guy run underneath the thing. Not this time. Muhammad stops up. He's on the same page with Berline. Berline throws the rocket, and it's a big play for the Carolina offense, converting the 3rd down.
19 yards past midfield. Carolina on the move again. Walls, a former Niner, in motion. And a handoff to Fred Lane, who played his college ball at the school which bears his name. Lane College product. Would be like you being named to Race Central Michigan.
Yeah, I don't want that name, but I love Central Michigan. But Fred Lane is a forward-running guy. His body lean is outstanding, and when he gets hit, he always falls forward, and he keeps the legs churning. And watch him get the extra yards after the hit. I mean, he flat runs people over. He put Ken Norton on his back and still scrambles up and gets an extra yard. Instead of a 3-yard gain, it's a 6-yard pickup.
From the 41, Berline back, and the quick hit. He's got Ismail again. And he twists to the 25-yard line. 1st down, Carolina. Pope was the man who brought him down after a 16-yard pickup.
And they are just killing Marquez Pope right now. And the Carolina offense looks like the 49er offense usually looks. Pope bails on this, and look at how he rounds his path off to come back. And anytime you do that, there's just going to be huge separation, and there's a lot of room for Berline to get the ball in there. Nice pattern, a disciplined pattern run by Rocket.
Marquez Pope had the tough day in Green Bay last weekend, but remember, Pope playing with the bad back. And they're only because Antonio Langham has been a disappointment, and now Langham is hurt. Lane sliding through. Pickup of a couple as we get down to 5:15 left in a very surprising 1st half.
Surprising indeed, because the Carolina Panthers came in here knowing they had to do a couple things to win this ball game, and that is they got to be able to force turnovers and then create points off of those, and they've done that with 10 points off of turnovers. And now that everything, it's all good right now for Carolina. The running game is starting to hit, and they've dodged a couple of bullets with the fumbles that they've jumped on, but it's all good right now for Carolina.
2 tight ends and Lane in the backfield. Berline was looking for Muhammad, couldn't find him. He'll just airmail it out of bounds. Pressure being applied by Roy Parker.
You get that one on a 5?
Parker, the man who had a 4-sack day against St. Louis a couple weeks ago.
His first option is Muhammad. This is good coverage. Pope squats on it. Then he wanted Walls. He wanted to go to Walls. Walls wasn't there. So the next thing you do, you go to Ishmael on the other side. That's covered up. So what does a veteran quarterback do? Throw that thing up in the stands and let's play another down.
We go to 3rd and 8. 4 wide receivers. Berline with time. It is deflected.
Benson Buckner's got some good luck going with the big hand. He blocked the field goal earlier, and now he knocks this one down.
Buckner, the former Steeler and Bengal.
Right there in the middle. He doesn't get a lot of penetration, so what do? You get the hands up. I mean, that's very effective. Get into that passing lane. If you can't get the pressure, do the next best thing, and that's throw the hands up and try to get it on the ball.
John Casey on to attempt what should be a 41-yard field goal.
They call that doing jumping jacks. You got to do your calisthenics as a defensive lineman.
Walter trying to get this ball down. He does, and Casey blasts it through. Boy, Walter continues to do a very nice job handling the snaps. More pressure being applied up front by Buckner, who already had the block back in the 1st quarter.
He blew through there again, but Walter is doing an outstanding job of handling. Now, the first one he had was high. This one's on his hip, and he still gets it down in time to give Walter a shot, or to give Casey a shot.
Steve Mariucci thought they had the pressure, thought they had forced the miss. But it was not to be. It is now a 16-0 game, a 9-play, 41-yard drive that whittled another 4:08 off the clock. Time of possession has been a big issue here early today as well. And if the suspense is killing you, then tonight the wait is over. Held out today. In fact, he's the number 3 quarterback today, meaning that we'll see Druckenmiller before we see Steve Young. We only see Young in an emergency. The strained abdominal muscles have him out of the game today. They thought Ty Detmer could handle it. He is not quite yet.
Well, 16-0. San Francisco's been here before, in fact, just a week ago. So I think they'll buckle it down. They're going to come back in this one yet. But right now, everything's going the way of the Panthers.
Short kick, and McWhorter is on the run. Gets the block from Williams. Scoots to the outside. Makes the move on the kicker, Casey, and he spins across to the 45-yard line.
Jerron Bolden saved their bacon because McWhorter does a great job of cutting back. And I tell you, if Bolden doesn't make this hit, he had the kicker, Casey, beat on the cutback.
30-yard return. McWhorter's getting a big hug from George Stewart, the special teams coach.
He's going to cut all the way across the field. You get people bunched in the middle. And when that happens, you got some great blocks over here. But when that happens, if you have the speed to beat it and work it outside, you can make a huge play.
Hurst and Edwards split in the backfield for San Francisco. Swung out to the fullback, Mark Edwards, the former Notre Dame Fighting Irish, fighting down the sideline for first down yardage.
Edwards is a runaway freight train when he gets the ball and gets the shoulders squared upfield. Look at the first 4 possessions today of the San Francisco 49ers, and the results here have been horrible. And the big reason is the quarterback play hasn't been what the 49ers have had. And the other thing is they're not helping themselves with making mistakes and penalties. And there goes the blitz again.
Yeah, and Brady up across the line of scrimmage. The play is run out to the 40. As Denver dives forward, we'll check out what Ed Hockley tells us here in just a moment.
Jeff Brady a little overzealous trying to get the jump on his blitz.
Defense number 52. 5-yard penalty, repeat first down.
Brady, maybe because he's been with so many teams and was a walk-on in college, always plays like he's got something to prove, although he's really already proven it.
Jeff Brady's a good football player, this is new to him. I mean, when he was drafted by Pittsburgh, he played in a 3-4, but then it was 4-3 for all those years in Minnesota, and now he's back in a 3-4, and he loves this system because it's set up for linebackers to run and make plays.
1st and 5 with Herb Smith, the tight end, in motion. And Denver going long. He's got Owens. He's got a touchdown. That's the big play the Niners have been searching for the last 2 weekends.
What a burst by Terrell Owens. He was neck and neck with Doug Evans, and Owens hit the gas pedal and blew past him into the end zone. And this is a nice, very nicely thrown ball from Ty Detmer.
And Doug Evans, who was supplying the coverage, is still down, shaken up as he tried to get in there against Terrell Owens. Owens becomes the first Niner receiver to get a half a dozen touchdowns this year.
Here they are working out here. I want you to watch the burst, the separation that Terrell Owens gets. They're neck and neck here, and now he just kicks it down. And Evans is trying to grab anything he can to slow Terrell Owens down because he was beat off the line. And you got to give Evans a little bit of slack, too, because he's got the thumb problem. He had the pins removed out of his thumb this week, but it's hard to get a jam on a man when you can't use that hand.
Relatively easy pickings the last couple of weeks has been Doug Evans with that broken thumb. And as Owens scoots into the end zone, now a 16-6 game. Wade Ritchie is on the field to attempt the extra point. And boy, that's got to feel great for Ty Detmer.
You betcha. I don't know what Terrell Owens was doing. That was I don't know what kind of primping that was, but to score a touchdown, who knows what you're going to do. But this is a huge play for the 49ers to get back into this thing with 3:27 left in the first half. But here's the Owen dad. I don't know exactly what he is doing there, but it looks like a little fun. And now Ty Detmer's his reaction.
That's the BYU shuffle right there.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
They need to get those guys into some kind of dancing school because, frankly, neither of them were doing a whole lot for me.
What are you, Denny Terrio now?
Yeah, I can be Denny Terrio.
Wade Ritchie on to attempt the extra point. And it is good Well, remember, San Francisco was down 16-0 in Green Bay last weekend. They battled back, took the lead at one point by a field goal, down 16-0 today. They carve it to within 16-7.
And this is the thing that has bitten Carolina all year long, giving up the big play. They lead the NFL in plays of 20 yards plus or more, with 48 of those coming into the game. And they were playing like a different team. They hadn't had that happen, but here it comes up and bites them in the second quarter. And this may be the thing that Ty Detmer needs to get himself on track, to get the confidence going.
Next week, assumably, with Steve Young back at the helm, it'll be the Atlanta Falcons, who again are now 7-2 against the 49ers. Our coverage begins at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific. You may see the Eagles and the Redskins instead. But that Niners-Falcons game is shaping up as a classic NFC West showdown. We haven't gotten a chance to use that phrase, at least not involving Atlanta and San Francisco, in quite a while.
And the Falcons have Jamal Anderson, and this guy is a load. There's no doubt about that. And they did a nice feature on him in the pregame show, and I like Jamal Anderson. I think he's got the kind of mentality, just give me the ball and let me do my thing, and he did his thing today. They blew up New England.
Wade Ritchie with a medium range kick.
Flip.
Jeff Brady scoops it up, and he'll get out to the 36. Well, special teams continues to be at issue. Wade Ritchie, who is on the team only because he can boom him back in the middle of the end zone, lost his footing, and it goes only around to the 30-yard line.
And the 49ers need Wade Ritchie to come along a little bit. And you know, right now on the year, just doing a great job on kickoffs, but the field goal department just 9 of 15, and George Stewart's telling them, listen, you've got to get your footing right out there so you can kick the ball deep and not give this other team good field position.
Floyd, the man in motion. Berline drops it into the slot, and then it was dropped by Muhammad.
And you don't see that often from Muhsin Muhammad. I mean, that thing hit him right on the chest. He curled up in front of Marquez Pope. Everything was working well, and then you just didn't finish the play, couldn't hang on to the football. But Steve Berline, one of those older quarterbacks in the NFL, put that one on the money.
From Steve Young to Randall Cunningham, from Doug Flutie to Testaverde, the league's best quarterbacks this year are, for the most part, the most seasoned quarterbacks as well. On 2nd and 10, Floyd in motion. Berline with the pump, and he is brought down. Chris Dolman one more time.
He's looking for the rocket, Raheem Ishmael, but he is covered up. Darnell Walker just throws the blanket on Ishmael, and Berline held on to the ball too long. Dolman beats Bollinger again for the 3rd time today on the right side of your screen, but this isn't Bollinger's fault, really. It's Berline holding on to the football just a little too long. And because of the coverage is why he had to hold the football.
3-sack afternoon for the 14th year man, Chris Dolman. Time coverage here for San Francisco. On 3rd and 18, Berline scrambling. And it is Carrier, shakes his man, but only gets back to close to the original line of scrimmage. It was Johnson, check that, not Carrier, who made the catch.
And it was great coverage down the field once again by the 49ers secondary, and Berline recognizes that and has to just dump it off, and now you come up and you don't make a mistake. You don't try to force a football in there, and you just dump it off to your guy and see what he can do out in the open field. Another good decision by the veteran quarterback. And on the pregame show today, Roger Staubach was a guest, and he talked about playing quarterback is all about making decisions, making the proper decisions and good decisions, and that's what the older quarterbacks do. You're in the league, you have the experience, you're older and you're wiser, you make a good decision.
And Steve Young, whose boyhood idol was Roger Staubach. Staubach led the NFC in passing when he was 37. Steve Young on his way to leading the league in passing this year, also at 37 years old. That was one of Staubach's best seasons at the age of 37, passed for nearly 3,600 yards.
You know, they say football is a young man's game, but for the quarterback position, it's really turned into an old man's game.
Now, following a San Francisco timeout, Ken Walter will kick it away for the first time today. R.W. McQuarters is back at his 26. Fair catch. And McQuarters grabs it at the 32 on the run. 35-yard kick. 2:18 on the clock, and that's what Ty Detmer will have to work with here, trying to get the Niners to within a little bit closer. 2 timeouts left, and of course a 2-minute warning.
And we'll see now how Ty Detmer can run this offense in a 2-minute drill. He's got to be pumped up. He's got to be excited. His last throw went for the long touchdown to Owen. So now we'll see if he can build on that and make something happen, because the last drive was the only drive really this offense has put together today.
Detmer zips it into coverage. He finds Irv Smith. First down yardage, pickup of 12 as we tick down towards that 2-minute warning.
And that's a nice job of Ty Detmer moving in the pocket and staying alive in there and then finding something late in the down. That's when he's had his trouble, is late in the down.
Steve Lofton in for the injured Doug Evans made the stop. Ty Detmer finding his legs and, more importantly, his arm. There's that Super Bowl trophy that eluded Ray Bentley all those years in Buffalo.
Wondered where that thing went. It's the Planet of the Apes has the Super Bowl trophy.
Josh Lewin with Dr. Zayas, Ray Bentley as we get under the 2-minute warning here, and Carolina showing blitz. Detmer dumps it off wide to Mark Edwards. He is fighting to get to the sideline, never makes it.
And Mark Edwards doesn't have a lot of shake and bake in him. And Damian Richardson comes up, and you're not really worried about a move. What you're worried about is getting run over, because that's all Mark Edwards is going to try to do to you.
And if you're playing in this West Coast offense and you're a fullback, you better be able to catch the ball besides block. Jerry Rice hauls it in. First down yardage past midfield. Steve Lofton again in for the injured Doug Evans on the coverage.
Excellent execution of the timing route. Jerry Rice, first of all, Carolina's not going to let you get one upfield. So what do? You sprint up that field and then bust it outside, and you hope the quarterback can deliver on time, and he did. Detmer hooks up with Rice.
Last time he failed to make a catch in a game back in 1985. Detmer the pump fake, and now he's got to get moving. Diving for that first down marker. Looks like a pickup of 10, and the clock stopped with $1:28 to go.
And Kevin Green was running down Ty Detmer. If this was a wider football field, maybe north of the border, Green would have put a hit on Detmer, because he is just flat out chasing him down. Kevin Green plays this game full speed, 100% all the way. And you wouldn't expect a man 250 pounds to be able to lug it like this, but he just chugs and lugs all day long.
Steve Young was telling us Friday, I love Kevin Green. He says, I love guys that love to play football. I wonder if Ty Detmer shares the love.
Wasn't a lot of love there.
Hurst and Edwards in the backfield. Rice and Owens are split wide, and Detmer trying to shake free. He does. And he pumps it across to the tight end, Smith, to the 25-yard line. Greg Lloyd made the hit, or had the pursuit, rather.
Mike Fox grabbed a hold of Ty Detmer. The problem was he had an offensive lineman in between him and Detmer, and he couldn't keep the hand on him. Give the credit to Detmer for staying alive and finding Smith.
First down with a minute to go in the first half. Detmer. Gilbert slips and falls, but the pass is picked off the third time that Detmer's been intercepted today. It was a former Niner, Eric Davis. And that will kill this late first half rally.
And that's the ball that you throw out of bounds. He had nothing. Every receiver was covered up. And you know, you've got time left on the clock. You don't need to force that thing in there. And he did. And now the 49ers will pay for it.
Big day for the former Pitt Panthers. First, we talked a lot about Dolman. Now it was Sean Gilbert that forced perhaps his bad throw.
And Jerry Rice is not open. He's got a man behind him, and he's got a man in front of him. And Ty Detmer just has to throw this thing out of bounds. And then watch him at the end of this thing. He's upset. And that's a little different. When he does well, he gives you that under thing. And then when he's upset, he goes over the top with the arm. Detmer mixing it up a little bit. And he is mixed up this afternoon.
tight ends, and Carolina from the eye. It is Lane getting the ball, getting across to the 23. And coming up on the Visa halftime report, Joe Buck and Ron Pitts, the erstwhile partner of Ray Bentley, will have scores and highlights from around the league, plus get up-to-the-minute stats with the Fox Sports Ticker. That is all coming up on the Visa halftime report.
I don't know if Pitsy's going to like you calling him erstwhile. I'm not sure what that means. That doesn't sound good to me.
No, it's all good.
Okay.
As Ron would say.
Well, it's been all good for Carolina thus far. Just the one big play that they gave up, the Detmer touchdown pass to Terrell Owens. Other than that, 49ers haven't done a thing.
By the way, Doug Evans, a sprained shoulder, we are told. He will not return today. San Francisco down to one timeout left. Carolina's got all three. And Ty Detmer seemed to be on a bit of a roll, Ray, there for a while, but then that interception, and again, the self-inflicted wounds.
And I think Steve Mariucci is telling him, listen, you got to forget about that. We've got a whole other half to play. Those mistakes are behind us now. We got to grow, and we got to play this second half. Don't get down on yourself.
Berline on 2nd and 9. Ismail in motion. And again, it's Lane, the ball carrier. Not much there. Timeout quickly called. Carolina, the 30th rated running game in the NFL, and Lane has not had a lot of room out there to operate today. Niners trying to rally, as they did against Green Bay last week. They came close and then it got away. Next week they'll have to take on Jamal Anderson and the very surprising Atlanta Falcons. Today, another big effort for Jamal Anderson, and he rushed for 123 yards the first time these teams got together. That a 31-20 San Francisco victory. But now they've got to go to the Dome in Atlanta, and the Falcons, well, going back to last year, they are now 13-4 in their last 17 games.
And that's very impressive. But the thing about it is San Francisco has Atlanta's number. Atlanta hasn't been able to do anything. They seem to just fall apart when they play the 49ers. Maybe we'll see if this is a different Falcon team now.
You may see the Eagles and the Redskins. The Eagles, of course, a former team of Ty Detmer. That's where he was last year. Berline taking the knee with the 49ers out of timeouts. And we will hit a halftime in a 16-7 situation. And again, with Atlanta running all over New England today, the 49ers are looking up at the NFC West for the first time in a while. First place right now is in Atlanta. And these Carolina Panthers, who came in here today 1-7, have a 9-point lead at the break.
We'll find out about the San Francisco Ball Club in the second half. They've showed a little resiliency. They have been able to come back in 3 ball games this year when they fell behind. And I believe that Steve Mariucci will get them wound up to come out for this second half.
Carolina bolted out 16-0. The Niners back to within 16-7, but they have imploded somewhat with 3 turnovers, all of them Denver picks. We'll be back to San Francisco in a moment on Fox.
Take a look at these first half stats, Josh, and the thing that jumps out is the 3 turnovers from the Carolina Panthers, and you know, that's what they needed to do coming in this football game. For San Francisco to get back into this thing, they have to have more solid play out of the quarterback, Ty Detmer. He's made countless errors and mistakes, and he's throwing the ball high a little bit. Once he settled down, then he came back and he made the mistakes again. They need to give him some help, and I think to do that, you got to run the football a little bit, and they've gotten away from that. The penalties took them out of it early. Then they got behind, and they've only ran the ball 7 times here in the first half, and they need to help him out right now, settle him down to get back into this ball game.
This was 16-0 at one point. It is back to within 16-7. Remember the last time that the 49ers played a home game here, they were down trailing to a team that came in with 1 win. That was Indianapolis. They did storm back to win that game late, but that was Steve Young at the controls.
And that makes a big difference whether it's Steve Young or anyone else in the National Football League. Steve Young can do it. He's had 10 fourth-quarter comebacks in his career, but they're going to need to come back on this one.
Well, the turnovers, you talked about them. Ty Detmer has thrown for 3 interceptions. Carolina, when they are in the positives in terms of a turnover ratio, it tends to go very well. If they are in the negatives, it ain't happening. 1 in 20. But today, with the 3 turnovers for and none against, the 26-8 stat is the one that we point to. And Steve Beuerlein, who once again was workmanlike, not spectacular in the first half, just simply getting it done for Carolina.
He's done what he's needed to do, and he's really gotten to spread the ball around quite a bit, and that's what the West Coast offense is all about. Spread the football around, make use of all of your weapons, and Steve Beuerlein has been able to do that. Plus, he's made great decisions. You know, he's gotten rid of the football when he needed to. He's moved around in the pocket, and he's executed, and he's made excellent decisions, and that can't be said for the 49ers and their quarterback.
And for San Francisco, again, a lot of it comes down to big plays. Not enough for, too many against has been among the anthems this season. John Casey to kick it away. And R.W. McQuarters deep. We are underway in the second half here. The sun has come out.
All right.
As McQuarters skids to the 30, and Casey had a hand on him. But instead, it was Wheeler who had to come in and knock him down after a pickup of 25.
Look at some of the problems that Ty Detmer has had today. Here goes an interception on a ball. He just overthrew Jerry Rice. And now the pressure's on, and he gets sacked by Kevin Green, and that really wasn't his bad. But now this one, that's just a poor decision in throwing a football where there's nothing there. And then he did that again when they were driving late in the half. And he needs to pick his game up and really let it come to him a little bit better.
Detmer back and drills it. Ball comes loose after Clark had a ball on it.
Yeah, and Greg Clark has to help out his quarterback right here and make this catch. I mean, that one hits him right in the chest. He had a little separation, got away from Jeff Brady. He was open. You got to help your quarterback out when he's struggling.
Greg Clark is not and will never be the receiving threat that Brent Jones was, but a pretty good blocking tight end. Played at Stanford, recruited by Bill Walsh.
Coming back, had a stress fracture in his right foot that's kept him out of a lot of play this year.
From the eye, Garrison Hurst is wrapped up by Michael J. Fox. That really is his name, but while the other Michael J. Fox goes about 5 foot nothing, 117. This guy is 6'8", 297. He used every bit of that 297 to drop Garrison Hurst.
Yeah, there's nothing foxy about this hit. He throws that big right arm up there and pretty much waffles Garrison Hurst. And that Fox is a big man in the middle. Getting the start today, Tim Morabito is out, but Fox does a nice job.
Nickel coverage on 3rd and 9. Detmer looking, trying to go up top for Jerry Rice. Down the sidelines inside the 30. First down, San Francisco.
And this is a nice job by Ty Detmer, because what he does, he lets this thing develop. Now the corner out on the right side is going to squat a little bit. Right here, watch this player. He's going to squat, and Rice is going to come out. See, he kind of slipped a little bit, and now you've got a safety, Brent Alexander, trying to chase down Jerry Rice. That's a mismatch, and that's an excellent job of holding it and waiting and letting it happen by Ty Detmer.
Rice now out of the game for a breather. Owens and Stokes are the wide receivers for the 49ers. 31-yard pass play, and the quick hit. The completion to J.J. Stokes. He had a huge drop against the Packers last week. San Francisco up by a field goal, and Stokes letting one fall away in the end zone. And when Wade Ritchie missed a resulting field goal attempt, that's when Green Bay stormed back.
And San Francisco right now is not really getting out throwing the football, and that's where they've had problems. But they come out here and they throw it right away, and they say, hey, we're a throwing football team. We spread it out. We give it to everybody. We're going to keep coming back that same way.
Secondary problems for Carolina much of the season. And remember, Doug Evans is out of the game too. Play action. And Detmer can't connect. He was looking for the tight end, Clark.
And this is one of the things that the offense misses when Steve Young isn't in there. Play action, bootlegs, all of those kind of things. And it's problematic for him because Young is a left-handed quarterback, so he would prefer to fake to his left, or fake to his right, roll to his left, and that's how the offense is set up. When you get a right-handed quarterback in there, he's more comfortable doing just the opposite. Fake to the left and roll to the right. And that's the first time we've seen San Francisco go to that kind of play action so far in this game.
49ers perhaps looking for the big play. Have Jerry Rice back in. He's wide. Down at the bottom of the screen. Detmer steps up. Over the middle, and there's plenty of room for Owens. inside the 10, first and goal. 18-yard gainer. And here come the San Francisco 49ers.
Owens does the old okey-doke. He's going to cut across the middle, and Detmer's looking to his left, but he's going to see this. And what Owens does is he stops and backtracks, and that's when he loses his defender, and he is wide open. And Ty Detmer sits in there, and he lets it happen for him again. And if he can continue to have the patience and not force it, this offense can get it going.
Owens so explosive after the catch. That's exactly what you want in the West Coast offense. He's out as the handoff goes to Hurst, dragged down by Barrow. Second and goal coming up. Garrison Hurst, third in the NFC, fifth in the NFL in total yards from scrimmage.
But he really hasn't gotten much of an opportunity to get things going today. That was just his 8th carry of the afternoon. And coming in, you know, I felt they had to run the football, but they got out of that early. The penalties cost them a little bit, and then they get behind, and they're not able to use Hurst and use that weapon. I expect they'll get to him more in the second half.
Herb Smith is in for Greg Clark at tight end, and Rice is in the backfield. Hurst astride of him. Looking, end zone, touchdown! Terrell Owens, his second of the afternoon.
And they put Jerry Rice in the backfield pretty much as a decoy. And that makes everyone, all right, Rice is in the backfield. You know, we're yelling it up here, they're yelling it down on the field, and now everyone's aware of that, and it draws you away from what you're supposed to do. Now here's Rice in the backfield, and here's Owens, and he's going to go up and outside. And Brent Alexander, that's a mismatch. You can't put him on a Terrell Owens running away from him into the corner.
Wade Ritchie on to try and tack on the point after. He's got it. Last week, San Francisco marching back against Green Bay. They're doing it against Carolina now.
All right.
2 touchdown connections from Detmer to Terrell Owens today. The 49ers back to within 2. 16-14, away to Ritchie, booms it away. And it is Michael Bates. Trying to cut through, he's got a burst, and he plows Ritchie backwards as he gets to the 37-yard line. A 29-yard return, and Carolina gets it in gear. Their lead has been trimmed to 16-14.
Brent Alexander's right here. Look, he's pointing at Jerry Rice in the backfield. He's freaking out because he knows that that's a threat to him, and he ends up late in the coverage on Terrell Owens, and Owens is wide open in the corner of the end zone, and that's a touchdown for the 49ers. And then on the kick, Wade Ritchie comes up, and that's a kicker's worst nightmare. Just you and the return man, and he's coming full speed ahead, and Ritchie, he took his lumps on that play.
Now here comes Carolina, leading just 16-14 now. Lane went in motion. Berline instead drops it underneath to William Floyd, the former 49er. Now 2 years ago, William Floyd stood on the San Francisco sideline, and he kept spitting in the Panthers' direction, yelling, "That's what I think of y'all." And he has obviously revisited his position.
Yeah, and they've gotten after him pretty good. The Panthers have teased him about that a little bit. But that's just William Floyd. He's an emotional football player. He gets out there and he leaves everything on the field. But they haven't really used him much this year. They haven't gotten William Floyd to football. He's more or less a blocking back.
Ismail in motion. And the handoff to Fred Lane. He skips through. Close to the 45-yard line. And right now, let's return to Joe Buck. He's at the Fox Network Center in L.A. Joe, thanks. And for Arizona, trying to keep pace with those Dallas Cowboys.
And they have Dallas visiting the desert next week, and that could be a first-place showdown if Arizona can put Washington away this afternoon.
3rd and 3. Floyd is the fullback. The fake, and actually the give to Lane. There's a flag on the play as Lane turns it. He scampers all the way towards the 25-yard line. Merton Hanks came across the field to knock him out of bounds. But the flag, and it's coming back.
Yeah, this is holding on Carolina, and this one came out very late in the down. Our referee, Ed Hockley, threw that flag.
Holding offense number 64. 10-yard penalty, repeat third down.
That is Corbin Lucina. 30-yard play called back.
Here's Corbin Lucina right here. And he's going to pull outside and lead this sweep. And he gets Winfred Tubbs. Tubbs comes up, and I don't see a hold on 64 there. It was a cut block, and you can't hold on a cut block unless you tackle the man, and Lucina didn't. That's a mystery to me. I don't understand that one. Neither does Don Paper.
Oh, you bet. And he's now looking at 3rd and 13. But this San Francisco secondary has been toasted a lot lately. Let's see what Beuerlein can do. Dime coverage for the 49ers. Beuerlein backpedal. Airs it out. He's got Muhammad, but then he drops it. Marquez Pope on the coverage. He had slipped and allowed Muhammad to get behind him, but Muhammad couldn't hang on.
And Pope has been slipping all over the field this afternoon. Now he's going to work on Muhammad. Muhammad does a nice job of selling it upfield. He sweeps with the hand a little bit. Comes up. He should catch this football. And Pope had good position until he slipped, and then he lost it a little bit. But Muhammad needs to make that catch.
Marquez Pope, his first 2 games back in the lineup, has been assigned to Isaac Bruce and Antonio Freeman. Now today he's matched up with Muhammad. Welcome back. Walters punts. McQuarter's waiting for it. Drops it after the fair catch had been called for. And he fishes it back in towards his body at the 20-yard line.
Good fishing.
Caught a pigskin after a 42-yard punt. And it's still 16-14. Killing unit factor right now may indeed be Ty Detmer. Getting the start today. Again, Steve Young is out with the strained abdominal muscle. Handoff goes to Garrison Hurst, and on a second effort, he's got 4 yards. Kevin Green was there to make the stop. He cut his Hulk Hogan-length hair last week.
Yeah, his daughter made him do it, but Kevin Green stays in the play, and that's the biggest thing about him. He's right here, and this is going to be run totally away from him. Now he gets cut down from the outside a little bit, but he stays alive. Watch him get up off the ground and finish a football play. That's a football player. That's what Kevin Green is known for. That motor, that big old motor he's got.
Looking more like Ben Hogan than Hulk Hogan right about now, but the hair is gone. The intensity stays. On 2nd and 7. Flared out, and a nice attempt at the diving catch, which Jerry Rice couldn't hang on. But rather Owens there.
And it's important for the 49er offense to continue to go and to continue to move the football. They did a great job coming out the first drive in the second half, and they threw the ball around a little bit, and they busted it up the middle with Hurst for a couple nice gains. But they have to continue to be the 49er offense, and that falls on the shoulders of Ty Detmer.
3rd and 7. The 4 wide receivers set for the 49ers. Detmer dropping, and it's broken up. Intended for J.J. Stokes. Looked like it was Lofton who cruised in there to get a hand on it.
And that's a strong play from Lofton coming up and knocking the ball away. I mean, it's a fine line on getting there too soon and creating the penalty. Watch this break. Nice break, and boom, get the hand around and don't put any body on the receiver until the ball gets in there. That's an excellent football play, a great break on the ball.
Reggie Roby floats it out towards Winslow. Oliver backpedaling, and he'll try and come upfield. Gets a block, and then is dragged down at the 32-yard line. It was Lance Schulters out of Hofstra who made the tackle after a 50-yard punt and a 6-yard return. A break in the weather. We've got sunshine on a cloudy day here in San Francisco. The rains have stayed away. The 49ers have come back to within 16-14 and now looking to make the big defensive stick.
Carolina offense has shut down pretty much here in the second half, and they're not doing what they did earlier, and that is throw the football on first down, get it out quick, and let Steve Beuerlein use his progression, use his reads, and move the football down the field. Now they've kind of gotten into this running game, and they might have gone into their shell too early, and they have now, because you're talking about a 2-point lead with a lot of football left to play. They need to open this thing up again.
Lane is a Panther in the backfield behind Berline. He had Broughton flashing open. Instead, he dumps it over the middle. He's got Ismail for the first down. 15-yard pickup, and they'll move the chains.
And this is nice execution of clearing out a zone. Wesley Walls, the tight end, is a guy that they've got to get going. Now here's Ishmael, and he's going to cut inside. But see, Walls is going to be up the field. There he is, and he clears the linebacker out. And then Ishmael comes across in basically the coverage mode. Now here's Wesley Walls, and he's a big part of their offense. They have to work the football to him, and San Francisco knows that, and they lock Kenny Norton up on him. But underneath, it comes open, and Berline connects.
Carrier in for Ismail. Bryant Young is out of the game defensively. Brenston Buckner in. From the offset eye. Berline floated it a little bit. It was broken up, intended for Mark Carrier. On the coverage was Darnell Walker.
Yeah, and Darnell Walker does a great job of making his break. I think Darnell Walker is inside the helmet of Mark Carrier. He knows what's going to happen right here. Watch him stick it and then come back. And he's all over this thing. I mean, that ball is thrown a little wide, but even if it's on the money, Darnell Walker's going to have a chance to make a play. And that guy is playing excellent football. He has become the #1 cover man on this 49er football team.
Former Atlanta Falcon helps make it 2nd and 10. Carrier, the man in motion, with again Walker on him. And in the backfield, Lane shakes free. Rolling outside, knocked out of bounds at the 47-yard line. Winfred Tubbs was in hot pursuit.
Lee Woodall is blitzing off the right corner on this one. Watch Lee Woodall. He's going to come in from over on this side. And what happens is William Floyd blows him up. And that gives Fred Lane a chance to bounce outside and use his speed and kind of outrun Tubbs to the corner and pick up some nice yardage. But that's William Floyd blocking on the corner, opening it up for Lane.
3rd down, they'll call it 6. Berline has Wesley Walls diving. He reels it in for the first down. Just as you had postulated, you got to find Wesley Walls some way, somehow.
And really, Wesley Walls is a huge part of this offense. 2 Pro Bowls running consecutive. Here he is, and he is going to break outside, and he's got one-on-one with Merton Hanks. And the problem with Hanks is he gets his body up in the air a little bit, and Walls is a master at doing that to you. He'll make you think he's going up the field and your weight isn't in the right place, and then Walls will scrape it outside and make an excellent catch. And Berline, there's a price to pay sometimes when you throw it down the field.
Dolman continues to have a huge game for San Francisco. 1st and 10 Panthers. And it's Floyd, the former Niner. He creeps forward towards the 32-yard line. Meantime, they're working on the rocket.
Working on that booster.
On with the John Glenn motif much of this week. We continue to talk about the older guys who are getting things done. Steve Berline, though he is not 77, he falls into that mode in terms of a quarterback. Getting that pad on him. Gabe Wilkins into the game defensively for San Francisco. Berline had a tip perhaps. And it falls short of Mark Carrier.
Yeah, Ken Norton in the underneath coverage got a hand on that and broke it up. It's a good thing he did because he had his man open behind the thing. But this is the kind of drive that the Carolina Panthers did early in the ball game. Spread it around, mix a little run, and then throw the football down the field. And Steve Berline is really, I mean, he's outstanding. Now, you see Norton got just a little bit of a hand on that, and that knocked it out so that the Carrier couldn't catch it. They're nipping at your heels down there, and Berline twisted the knee a little bit.
3 wide receivers, Johnson in the backfield. On 3rd and 7. Berline looking for the home run. And to the 1-yard line, no, out of bounds. Muhsin Muhammad was trying to teeter and stay in bounds. He just couldn't get there.
And this is just going to be Muhammad trying to run by Marquez Pope again. And he does get by him. And if this ball is in the field a little bit better, it's going to be a big completion. Because Pope is not really putting good, solid color on color and putting the coverage on Muhammad. And this thing is very close to being a big play for Carolina. They got lucky. Berline left it outside, hung it out a little bit.
51-yard field goal attempt for John Casey is no good. He has made 3. He has missed 2. That one from 51, and the Panthers earlier had been inches from getting it down to the 1-yard line. Battled back to within 16-14, and remember, earlier this year, plenty of comebacks that they've had to make. Against Buffalo, they fell short. Against Indianapolis, got it done. Last week, came back, had the lead in Green Bay, and then faltered. Garrison Hurst close to the 50-yard line for San Francisco, a pickup of close to 8.
And that's the running game I think the 49ers have to use a little bit more. Now, they shuffled their offensive line this week. They've got a new starter at center. They put Derek Deese off to the left side, Kurt Strafford to the right side because they like the matchups. They think Deese can handle Sean Gilbert on the left side and also Greg Lloyd when he works on them, and they think Strafford's a better matchup against Kevin Green, but they haven't really gone to it on the ground.
Terrell Owens coming in motion. The handoff goes to Hurst. He pinballs towards the outside, and he'll drag Panthers with him for the first down.
And this is a nice job by that offensive line of picking up the stunt because both inside linebackers are going to blitz, and they're going to come in right over the middle. Here they come. And it's a nice job by Mark Edwards, actually picked up both of them. And then Hurst has the presence to bounce it outside. Everyone else held their block, and the Niners moved the chains. And they're getting it going now on the ground, and I believe that's going to be the difference for them. If they can run the football, they can control this game.
50 yards today for Garrison Hurst. He had a huge effort against these Carolina Panthers last year. Play action. Detmer scrambling, and he's able to get it off to Hurst. The completion is made. Detmer paid the price.
Yeah, Sean Gilbert made him pay the price, but this is the play action. Now, when you run the football well, you counter with play action. But the secondary for the 49ers put on good coverage, and now Detmer has to make it happen. There's your guy right over there, and he's going to make the play. And now he works on Deese, and Deese kind of gives up at the end. Deese thinks this play should be over, and he lets Sean Gilbert go, and it ends up Detmer takes the hit, but he gets it away.
3 wide receivers. Hurst in the backfield on the 2nd and 8. Detmer airing it out, going to the sidelines, incomplete. The intended receiver was Stokes.
And this is the out and up. You know, you throw the out, and you try to get the corner to start biting on that, and then you blow the out and up. Well, the coverage wasn't that tight, and so the Panthers were able to play this one nice and force the incomplete. Now here they are working down in the pit where the stuff happens, and watch Kevin Green. This guy, he's punching, he's fighting, he's pushing, and he tries to get stuff in. And this guy can get it in. I mean, a lot of little extra stuff comes from Kevin Green.
On his way towards a league record 3rd sack title. Right now it is 3rd and 8. Here comes Green. And the ball is called a fumble. Picked up. Les Miller's got it. And will finally be dragged down again. Now it's turned over the other way, but they're saying that ball was dead. Owens ended up with it. Looks like Carolina's going to keep the football back at the 43-yard line in enemy territory.
After the ball was recovered by Carolina, the Carolina player was down by contact.
And I don't know if Ty Detmer's arm is going forward on this or not, because if his arm is going forward, it's an incomplete pass. And that's exactly what the 49ers are trying to sell right now, but I don't know if anyone's buying.
As of now, it would be the 4th turnover by the 49ers today. McGill had the pressure, and Miller scooped up the ball.
Yeah, and McGill is just coming on a blitz, coming from the outside. And what happens is Kevin Green forces the initial pressure, and then that gives McGill time to come from the backside and do his thing, and then Les Miller picks it up and does his thing, and then Terrell Owens takes it and does his thing, and there's Mariucci doing his thing. The mariachi thing.
The mariachi on the sidelines, and as you said, no sale as they continue to try to sort it out at midfield. The fourth 49er turnover
Correction.
today.
The ball was recovered by Carolina. The Carolina player got off the ground before he was touched down. It was therefore taken away by San Francisco. San Francisco has the ball, first down.
Look at Tom Capers.
Oh, my goodness. All right, here's McGill. He makes a hit. The arm was not coming forward. It's definitely a fumble. Les Miller picks it up, rolls on the ground, and he gets touched, but he gets up before he's touched, and he kind of quit on the play too, but there was no whistle blown. And then Terrell Owens, who thought he had made the touch, got back in it and just ripped the ball out of Les Miller's hands. Well, that's one for the Follies.
Unbelievable. And Les Miller, who suddenly had to turn into a running back, just seemed lost at sea right there in terms of how to go at it.
And the thing you have to do is you have to keep playing until you hear a whistle. And I didn't hear a whistle throughout that whole thing that transpired until Owens had the football. So you got to play until the whistle. That's the first thing they teach you as a football player. But the thing that's in contention here is whether or not Owens touched Les Miller while those knees were still on the ground. And that's where it got dicey.
We'll see if we can pick it up. Don't hear a whistle, do you?
The whistle comes in right there.
And San Francisco, after a wild exchange with Hurst, rolling towards the Panthers sideline, shoved out of bounds by Lofton. 7-yard pickup.
And that's a big break for the 49ers, because I mean this was going to go the other way. It would have been their fourth turnover, and that would have taken, you know, what you had going, it would have taken it away from you. Now they've got it back, and where they've got it is on the ground, and I think Garrison Hurst is chewing this thing up. 8 yards, 4 yards, 5 yards a pop. They need to keep it on the ground and then come back with the play action.
Mariucci, who celebrated a birthday earlier this week, given a gift perhaps right there as Hurst bangs through for the first down. The gift given to him by Terrell Owens, who had to steal to then give.
And they're finally getting the ball to the horse that needs to carry this football team today, and that's Garrison Hurst. And this offensive line, look at Gogan. He works on Brady, and you got everyone else in that front line is starting to move people around. Ray Brown, the left guard, is working hard. Steve Gordon in there at center does an excellent job as a run blocker, and you just need to keep it on the ground and keep the train rolling.
Terry Kirby now dots the I. He will get the handoff and plows his way across the 30 to the 29. It was Barrow there to knock him down. Mike Barrow, the Panthers' leading tackler by nearly 24 over Jeff Brady.
And Mike Barrow is an excellent fill linebacker. And what I mean by that is a guy who can come up and fill a hole and bring it and push it back the other way. He's got great speed. He keeps excellent body position, and he comes up and delivers a blow. And that's fun. That's what football is all about as a linebacker.
Rice and Owens are wide for the 49ers. Play action. Detmer looking towards the end zone. Rice on the bobble, and it is incomplete.
And that easily could have been a touchdown. Ty Detmer again overthrew the football. Just got it up a little high. And now Jerry Rice can go up, but he can't go up and get this one. They have great protection, and the reason is the play action. You know, they've got them thinking run a little bit. The Panther defense is on their heels. All you got to do is throw this in here. Instead, he throws it up too high and too far in front of Jerry Rice, and then Lofton comes over and makes a play.
And Richardson almost ended up with a pick as it rolled off the helmet of Rice.
Ooh, right through the breadbasket.
So now 3rd and 10. Detmer, the quick drop, the fake, and he's got his man inside the pylon. Touchdown, J.J. Stokes. They may go for two at this point as San Francisco takes the lead. Last week in Green Bay, Stokes in the third quarter had the huge drop in the end zone. Catch the ball is what Steve Young yelled at him. Nobody yelling at Stokes right now.
And here he is right out there. And see that little head fake inside? That gets the corner, Davis, to bite inside just enough to give Detmer the room to throw it over the top. And Stokes brings it in, and this is a huge play for the 49ers. And now they're just going to go for two to try and increase that lead.
29-yard pass play. The 49ers, who were jonesing for the big play in Green Bay, never got it. Have it twice this afternoon.
The reason you go for two here is to get it to where it's a two field goal deal.
And they've got it drilled in there to Owens. What a big day for the former University of Tennessee at Chattanooga moccasin, Terrell Owens. It's been very little Rice and quite a bit of Stokes and Owens today for San Francisco.
They're going to roll it out. They're going to flood this area on the left side of the field, and then it's zone coverage for the Panthers. So when you get a zone, you just want to sit down in a seam somewhere. And that's what Terrell Owens does. He just sits down in there, and they got defenders on each side, but he sits in that seam, and Detmer delivers it in there. This was great execution of Owens and running the pattern correctly.
Strange shades of deja vu going back to Green Bay last week. 22 points right here towards the end of the third quarter, having come back from down 16-0. 22 points in a row for the 49ers, but remember what happened in Green Bay. 22-19 was the lead for the 49ers at the end of the third, heading into the fourth, and they could not hold it.
Yeah, I think you go back to that drive, and the key of the whole thing was running the football with Garrison Hurst. They decided to go on the ground and shove it down and throw to the Panthers, and when you do that, all of a sudden that defense, they're on their heels a little bit. The secondary moves up to try and take some run away and give you some support, and then boom, you beat them over the top.
The offensive line has stepped up and had a big afternoon for San Francisco. That was one of the points of concern heading in.
Carolina's got to do something to get back into this football game now because everything is on the side of the 49ers.
What can they do at this point? They're not running the ball, and Berline is getting a lot of pressure now.
Well, first you start off, you get a good kick return, get yourself in field position where you can open it up, but Ritchie's going to take that away from him.
That's why they got Wade Ritchie, the rookie from LSU. They know he can boom it into the end zone. It will not come out.
I think for Carolina now, the important thing is not to panic at this point. You get yourself a touchdown and follow up with the extra point, and you're back in the lead. So do the things that have gotten you success thus far. That's throwing the quick passes, the timing routes on the outside. I think they got to get it to Wesley Walls a little bit more, and then come with the run as a changeup. It's opposite of what San Francisco has to do. Carolina has to pass to set up their run.
Tight end Walls in motion. Fred Lane gets a handoff and gets stuck as he gets to the 21. Carolina's got to come on back, and we've talked about it. The 49ers secondary has been suspect. Can Berline and company put it to the test as we get to the fourth quarter? At the end of the third quarter, our score, the 49ers 22, the Panthers 16. Fox NFL Sunday will continue after a word from your local Fox station. The third quarter, but the fourth quarter, of course, got away from them. What do you think about that?
I wonder which one of those ladies made that sign.
Young out, Detmer in, and here's Berline. He drills it to Ismail. First down yardage across the 35.
And that's what you have to do, because that's what they've been able to do all day long, is they've been able to free up Rocket Ismail running away from coverage over the middle of the field. And that's been the bread and butter for Steve Berline in this offense, and you knew they're going to come back to it. And they need to keep going to that, because then the secondary will sit on their heels. The defense, the front seven, are going to think pass and try to get out of there, and then you can mix up the run.
4 catches for 66 yards this afternoon for Ismail. Berline back again. Pump fake. Knocked down. Lee Woodall got the hand in there. Wesley Walls, the intended receiver.
And this is great coverage by Lee Woodall because he had to cover that tight end Wesley Walls for a long time. They're going to be on the left side of your screen coming in here. And here's Woodall. And see how he almost lost his balance, but he was able to recover enough and get enough of a burst to get over and knock that thing away from Walls. And I think Woodall, out of all the linebackers for this 49er team, he's playing better than any of them right now. He's having an excellent season.
Lane and Floyd in the eye. Walls goes in motion. Play action, Berline going up top, looking for the rocket. Can't get him.
And this is a nice shot. I mean, you got to take this shot, and he had Rocket open and just overthrew it a little bit. But watch this protection. First of all, if you're going to take your shot, you got to have time. And they do an excellent job up front of giving Steve Berline the time. And now here's your one-on-one matchup. And the difference here that Walker does better than any of the rest of the secondary for the 49ers is he keeps his eye on his receiver. And now, despite the fact that the Rocket has a little bit of a seam there, he's got a little separation there. The ball just isn't quite there. But this is still good coverage from Walker.
4 wide receivers for Carolina. Johnson now blocking from out of the backfield. Carrier the reception across midfield. Some third down electricity from Steve Berline, a 15-yard gain.
And Steve Berline is playing as well as any quarterback in the National Football League right now. He sits back in there. It's a timing route. Okay, you took one shot down the field. What do? You run them down the field, and you make them think you're going to do it again, and then you come off of it. And this is just a nice job of Carrier running an excellent route. The timing is there, and they get it, and Berline gets it in there. And that's what you got to have, your quarterback get it in there. And right now, that's what Berline is doing.
He leads the NFL in passing efficiency, 66.5%. And off to Lane, trying to zip outside. Gets across the 45, and right now let's return to Joe Buck. He's in the Fox Network Center in L.A.
All right, Josh in Arizona, the Cards go. Josh and Ray.
All right, Joe, thanks in Dallas, Arizona. We'll get it together next Sunday here on Fox. Some other pretty good ball games in there, too.
It's going to be a big weekend next weekend. And as you get towards the end of the season, every weekend gets bigger and bigger as teams start to fight for those playoffs.
Atlanta, San Francisco looking like a very big game. However, this one turns out here. Through the hands, almost picked off. Berline had his man through a little high. He was trying to get it to Wesley Walls, who again has been complaining this year that this new Panthers offense is too receiver-oriented rather than tight end-oriented. But with a broken hand or a broken bone in his hand and a sprained ankle, it's tough for Wesley Walls to make every play he wants to make.
Yeah, and it's tough because he's got that cast on his hand. And you know, it's tough enough trying to catch a ball sometimes without that. But when you have that on the hand, boy, it's really difficult. And I think Wesley Walls, for the most part, has handled that very well. But that time, I think the cast got to him.
Third down play coming up here. 4 wide receivers, and there's movement on the line.
Yeah, that's Bollinger, and you know.
Before the snap, full start, offense, number 79.
Well, the rookie out of
penalty, still
Wyoming.
third down.
Yeah, and he's got a reason to get a head start in getting back on the pass coverage because he's been beaten already for 3 sacks this afternoon by Chris Dolman, and this is a critical third down, and you don't want to be the guy that gives up the big play. So he's trying to get just a head start a little bit, and he's got good cause to be nervous over there.
So back it up to 3rd and 11. Again, dime coverage for San Francisco. 4 wide receivers in there for the Panthers. Berline hit, loses the football. There's a flag on the play as the Panthers recover.
And that's Dolman again.
A tremendous afternoon for the veteran Dolman, the 8-time Pro Bowler. Let's see what the flag is all about.
I think it possibly a late holding call, and that's what it will be, a late holding call coming in for the Carolina Panthers.
And again, Dolman making it happen.
Holding, offense number 65. The penalty is declined, brings up 4th down.
They got Frank Garcia that time, and the 49ers have held.
Here's Dolman right here. He's working on the rookie Bollinger. He does a hand slap again. That's been his move. And then he keeps his eyes on the quarterback. And, you know, a lot of guys, they'll just they'll run blind up the field and go around and take themselves out of the play. But Dolman, the Grizzly veteran that he is, keeps his eyes on that quarterback and stays alive in a play.
Look at that afternoon for Chris Dolman. Getting past Richard Dent on the all-time sacks list today.
And he's got 12 sacks on the year. He's one behind Kevin Green for the lead in the National Football League.
R.W. McQuarters waves it down. The fair catch it around the 10-yard line. 12.5 to play. That a 37-yard kick from Walter. The 49ers have the lead.
Listening to the tales of other lives lived.
By Bud Light, for the great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down, make it a Bud Light. By Claritin. And by Intel, makers of the amazing Pentium 2 processor.
San Francisco back to work with a 22-16 lead, 22 unanswered points against Carolina today. Edwards blocking for Hurst. Tries to get it off tackle, loses the football. And Sean Gilbert says it's Carolina's ball. The officials are agreeing with him. Looking to run the football as you expected they would, Ray. And on the very first play, another San Francisco turnover, their fifth, and it is very deep.
Yeah, and this hurts because Garrison Hurst gives up the rock, and he gives it up in a bad place to do it because Carolina is in great field position now. There's Hurst, and he takes the shot, and the ball just pops right out. And you got to protect the football a little bit better than that, but you got to give the defense credit that the shoulder pad went right on the football and knocked it loose.
Damian Richardson, the man they call the professor. Pretty smart play to get right on it. First and 10 from the 49er 15-yard line. Ismail in motion. Ball is dropped by Lane. It is loose. 49er football.
It's a ping pong match right now, back and forth. Looks like Bryant Young might be the man with the football at the bottom of the pile, but that was just a missed handoff. Beuerlein never got it to Fred Lane.
We saw turnovers transacted on one play earlier in the second half, and now on back-to-back plays, the two running backs let the ball go. Bryant Young was on it. The 49ers get another big break with 12:17 to go.
Right play, so Steve Beuerlein's got to get on his horse. He's got to get out of here quick to get the football to Fred Lane. And sometimes your momentum will carry you too far and you stick it all the way through. And that was the case. It never really got into the breadbasket. Beuerlein pushed it all the way through.
Niners get the ball back. Ty Detmer at the controls. Detmer rolling, keeps the football, and slides across to the 26-yard line. Jason Peter with the stop, and tonight after an all-new World's Funniest. They start.
Here's somebody right out of X-Files for you right there. Got that old 49er helmet and the little growth going. This is what Bradshaw's beard is going to look like if he keeps it going.
Well, you got the Chia Pet thing working right now yourself. Goatee coming in nicely. Hurst across to the 28-yard line, and San Francisco has a 6-point lead and the ball. You've heard of barefooted kickers. We have a barefooted linebacker here that we're working with today. What's up with the shoes? Where'd they go?
You know, it's just I'm out here in California, and you get the feeling, and see, here you go.
Oh.
Look at that. And people don't believe that.
Go.
They don't believe that, but that's the way I get comfortable. You get to call a game a little bit. Now, I've been in your shoes, play-by-play, and you can't really you go to barefoot with that situation. But you get in here and you get to be the analyst, you got to loosen up a little bit.
I don't want you in my shoes.
I don't believe I'd fit.
No, I know that. Here's Detmer back. Detmer looking, high throw brought down by Jerry Rice. Lost the football.
Carolina's got it.
The Panthers have it on a Jerry Rice fumble. Does anybody here want this football game?
Or the football, for that matter. They're just giving it back and forth. And Jerry Rice made a great play going up tall for the football. I mean, this is an all-pro play. Here's Jerry Rice right here. Watch him go up. He's got it now. And now he tries to get the run after the catch. And that's what Jerry Rice is known for. But I don't know where he lost it. It's hard to see from that angle. But it looks like it was sliding down his body and ends up down between his legs. There it is. The hand knocks it out. But his knee is down. I don't know about that one.
And his old 49er buddy Eric Davis swooped in. grabbed the football, and Carolina gets it back, although I tend to agree with you from that replay that we saw.
Yeah, Tony Veland did a nice job of getting the hand on the football, but I think Jerry Rice's knees were down before that thing came all the way out. Nonetheless, it's going to be the Carolina Panthers football.
And the parade of turnovers continues here in the second half.
8 turnovers already in this football game, 6 by the 49ers.
Exactly what Steve Mariucci was telling us. He just wants them to cut out their own mistakes, and everything else will take care of itself. Play action. And Berline trying to thread it in there to Wesley Walls. McDonald stepped in to knock it away.
And that's a great break by Tim McDonald. But Tim McDonald's a smart football player. Now, they've tried to run this corner route with the tight end Walls several times today. But what McDonald knows it, he recognizes it, he sees it, he gets an excellent break and comes in and gets the hand in and pops the thing out of there.
We had 3 turnovers in a stretch of 5 plays. Now on 2nd and 10, the Panthers, who have been shut out in the second half, back to work. Ismail gets up, but he had been ruled down. He'll be asked to come back with the football to the 38. Darnell Walker was there on the coverage.
And Darnell Walker said, hey, wait, I got him down. Let's see if he got him down, because he comes up and he does a nice wrap. But there he goes. Backside goes down, and you're down. Sometimes a knee brings you down. Sometimes it's the other way around. The backside gets you down. But if you touch the ground with the lower part of your body, you're going to be down.
3rd and 6, and if they can't connect here, they are within the range, albeit the fringe of the range of John Casey. Carrier in motion. Berline swings it out to Johnson. He's across the 30 for the first down.
And this is nice execution and a nice play call, because you get man-to-man coverage, and what you want to do is bring people from the outside inside. And what that does a lot of times is it picks off the coverage from the inside going outside. And this is what happens. Look at these guys. They're going to come inside on the route, break it inside, and now you get it open on the outside, and Merton Hanks just doesn't have enough time to close the gap.
He's having a tough time exploding towards the ball anyway with that Achilles heel problem. Pass complete to Ismail. He's clobbered at the 23-yard line.
But this is the Carolina Panther offense that you saw ring up 16 points in the first half. Throw the ball out, throw it out quick, throw it on timing. Let Steve Berline do his thing. He does a great job of reading the defense and going through his progression and taking what's there. And I think they got away from that a little bit. They thought they had to run the football, but the run hasn't been there today. So go back and dance with the one what brung you.
Berline coming in his 2 games against the Niners as a Panther. 31 out of 42. Today he is 21 out of 36, 237 yards. On 2nd and 3, the give to Lane. He's across the 20, still working. And just might have the first down.
And if he does, it's because William Floyd threw a great block. He takes out 2 men. And what he does is he closes off that perimeter. Watch Floyd. He's going to be coming out this way, and then he just builds a wall right over here when he comes around the corner. He gets one linebacker. He gets another one. I mean, William Floyd is the reason that play worked.
First down at the 16-yard line of the San Francisco 49ers. Play action. Berline crossfield. And Floyd finally dragged down. He almost took Woodall with him.
Floyd showed you some power. Hey, you know the deal. You throw a nice block and you do the dirty work. We'll get you the football once in a while. And that was just a little payoff, a little payback to William Floyd. Now Berline's looking for Ishmael, and what happens is he runs into the safety, so it's not there early. Then he's looking around for Walls, the tight end, and Walls is not there. And this is the progression that I've been talking about, and that's what the veteran quarterback is giving you today in the NFL. 1 ain't there, don't go. 2 ain't there, don't go. Hit 3.
Now on 2nd and 6 from the 12, Lane trips across the 10. Ken Norton, who's had a big day for San Francisco. The 11th year man out of UCLA made the stop. We tick down to 7:25 remaining.
And this is important for the Carolina Panthers to try and get a touchdown out of this drive. I mean, that's going to change the whole complexion of the ball game. If you just get a field goal, then San Francisco can keep it on the ground, try to grind it out a little bit and use up some clock. But if you get a touchdown, then you take Ty Detmer out of his comfort zone that he's had in the second half, with his ability to have the team run the football.
Berline wants to talk it over on the sidelines. Timeout, 22-16. San Francisco Panthers driving. 6-point lead for San Francisco. Remember, Carolina has missed 2 field goals, 1 block, 1 wide. And now a 3rd and 4 from the 10-yard line. Steve Berline leads them to the line of scrimmage.
This might be your game right here. This is a huge play.
Pros set Lane and Floyd in the backfield. Berline looking. And he's got Wesley Walls. He is inside the 5.
First down.
That is a first down and goal for Carolina. Wesley Walls, a former 49er. And he's been all season calling for more of the football. Never got it from Kerry Collins. He's been getting it from Berline.
And this is a zone defense in here, and you get Tubbs grabbing a hold of him anyway. But what Walls does is he finds that seam, and they love the tight end in the red area. And Berline does a nice job. You see him look all over the field and then finally come back to Walls, and he had the time to do it.
First and goal from the 4. Lane surging, getting near the 2.
And Serge is right, because that's what Fred Lane does, and that's what he gives you. You know, he's not a very big man by any stretch of the imagination, 5'10", 205 pounds. But watch, after the hit, Fred Lane is going to go forward. Bottled up, but he still gets the lean, and he still ends up, instead of no gain, he gets a couple yards. And that's really huge down in the goal line area.
Defensively, the biggest man has been Chris Dolman today for San Francisco. Can he step up again right here on the 2nd and goal? Floyd. Touchdown, Carolina.
He's in.
How much is he loving that? The former 49er comes back to San Francisco. And with 5 minutes, 43 seconds to go, Carolina poised to take the lead.
And that's William Floyd just wanting to. And it's also an excellent call, because you get a lot of dose of Fred Lane, and all of a sudden you run Fred Lane outside, and that pulls the linebackers out of the play, if just for an instant. And that gives Floyd enough wiggle room to ease himself into the end zone.
Casey to break the 22 all-time. Walter got it down, and it is swatted through by Casey. Carolina 1-7 has the lead on 6-2 San Francisco. 5:43 to play. Floyd comes back to 3Com Park and hands the ball off after he has handed Carolina the lead, 23-22.
Give the football away, you jump up and get yourself a kiss. Not a bad deal for William Floyd. I guess there's no place like home.
And we are looking at Oz-like skies right now. There's some ominous stuff moving in as McQuarters fields it, and here he comes. Cutting all the way across field, there's a flag down. McQuarters escapes. This might be the 2nd terrific run called back on McQuarters today. Remember, he broke it for what would have been an 85-yard touchdown earlier in this game.
And it is holding against the 49ers, and all the returns today.
Holding, receiving team number 20. Correction, number 50, half the distance to the goal, still a first down.
Anthony Peterson is the man that they got on that, but all the returns today have been cutting back across the field. That means people are staying on their blocks, giving the time to McQuarters, but sometimes when you stay on your block, you end up holding, and then the special teams coach, George Stewart, ends up with that kind of look on his face.
Stewart, a Lou Holtz disciple. It was Holtz who once said, some days you're...
There's your hold right there. And that's more than a hold. That's a 2-point takedown.
I think the line was, some days you're drinking the wine, the next day you are picking the grapes. And for San Francisco, they have been amongst the vines here in November as they went up to Green Bay. Lost 36-22. It is 23-22 Carolina right here, and the Niners pinned back inside their 10.
And they've got time. They've got over 5 minutes left on the clock. They can stick with the running game.
Now, Hurst, the last time he touched the ball, fumbled it. Quick out to Jerry Rice, trying to make his move, stiff-arming his way, getting out of bounds, and a flag is on the play. Lofton made the stop.
And he might have got up in Jerry Rice's face mask. And he did.
Ed Hockley letting us know.
Face mask, defense number 29. It's a 5-yard penalty only. First down.
Well, the first down spot. And there it was.
Only a 5-yard variety. He never really got Lofton never really got a hold of the bar, and the hand was on and then off quick. That's the 5-yarder. But it gives the 49ers a little breathing room.
And as the Niners come on down the field, if they get within field goal range, Wade Ritchie has been a very big question mark. He is very strong with the leg, but not very accurate. Hurst in the backfield. Detmer drops it to the 30-yard line for Greg Clark. He tumbles and grabs it. And next week, a Fox doubleheader. First, the battle between the top two teams in the NFL listings.
Yeah, and every game from here on in is an important game, almost a playoff game.
Garrison Hurst crawling towards the first down marker, did not quite get there. Now here's what we're looking at when the Falcons and the Niners get it together in Atlanta next Sunday.
And the big one is 5 straight for San Francisco. And they've just owned them, and Jerry Rice has owned the Atlanta Falcons. I mean, his touchdown total against them, it's the best in the NFL for one player against another team. They get a chance to improve upon that next week in Atlanta.
Third and a long one. And Hurst turning the corner. He has got the first down. Tony Veland on the stop.
You know, and it's a good thing Tony Veland made the sure tackle, because Hurst had a lot of room out there, and he could have gone a long way. He went long enough as it was to get the first down. And now the 49ers are running out of clock a little bit. They got plenty of time left, 3.5 minutes. But they need to continue this kind of drive and then get the points on the board to make this man a happy man. That being Eddie DeBartolo, the owner of the 49ers. Or is he?
Some turmoil there. As Denver drops back. And he skips it short. Herb Smith slipping on the play. He was the intended receiver. Detmer again in for Steve Young. And Ty Detmer, who has passed for his initials 3 times today, trying to lead them all the way downfield here with 3:12 to go.
And that wasn't a bad throw at all by Ty Detmer. In fact, Smith, had he not slipped, had an excellent chance at it, but no one else would have gotten it. And that's the thing, Ty Detmer has really cleaned up in the second half. He hasn't really forced the ball in there, creating the turnover.
World's Funniest coming up after the ball game for a lot of you. As Detmer drops back. Over the middle, he's got Terrell Owens. And a first down for the 49ers, 3:05 to play, 13-yard gain. Eric Davis made the stop.
And this was a rope from Ty Detmer. I mean, and Owens does a nice job of kind of settling down. Now he comes across the middle, and instead of running over into coverage, he kind of just settles it down on that slant route, that in route, and sets in there to take a nice catch, make a nice catch from a nicely thrown ball from a nice guy, Ty Detmer. He was a nice guy, too. We sat and talked with him, and he was a pleasure.
He was terrific. Rice and Owens, the wide men. We've got flags. Yes. We've got motion.
Kirk Scrafford kind of had a little bit of a lean going.
Before the snap, false start, offense number 76. 5-yard penalty, it's still first down.
Who has become an avid off-season bow hunter. He has bagged deer. He has bagged black bear. He's going panther hunting right now.
And the thing about it, when you're out in the woods, you don't have the clock on you. Right now, he's got the clock on him, and they need to get into field goal position. And the thing that hurt him early in the game comes up here, a penalty. And that's something that Detmer's had a hard time overcoming this afternoon, mistakes by his teammates.
First and 15, 2 tight ends for San Francisco. Smith, the man in motion. It wobbles, and Jerry Rice has it. Close to the first down marker, didn't quite get there. 14-yard gainer.
Watch Jerry Rice run the coverage off. I mean, he puts his head down, and you don't want to get beat on the long one right here. The hips get turned, and then Rice chokes it down and then goes up tall and gets the feet in, and that's why Jerry Rice is Jerry Rice, the best receiver ever in the National Football League.
Carolina looking to hold. The Panthers have won here twice, have lost only once at 3 count. The give to Hurst, and he speeds to the outside. dragged down, and there's a flag that goes down with Hurst after a gain of 10.
I don't know if they're going to get Hurst hitting an opponent in the face with the stiff arm. And you don't often see that call. They kind of give the running back some leeway. I don't know if that's what we got. We'll find out.
There was no foul on the play. Player had the skirt, not the face. Play results in a first down.
You're going to see Garrison Hurst, and here's the thing, and it's kind of in the neck and more on the shoulder pad, and that's why it's not called. And you know, if that's a defensive guy doing that to an offensive guy, I guarantee you they'll call that an illegal hit to the face. But they give the offense and they give the running back a little more leeway.
Hurst up the middle, past the 30 to the 28. As we tick down to the 2-minute warning here at 3Com Park in San Francisco. Carolina, a surprising 1-point lead. And the Niners with some more work to do to get it close enough for Ritchie. Has pushed the ball inside the 30. Keep in mind that the 49ers kicker Wade Ritchie is just 3 for 8 when trying a 40 to 49-yard field goal. And the Panthers very used to these close games. The 49ers not necessarily so in the last 2 years. On 2nd and 6, it's Garrison Hurst. And he bangs his way across the 25, very close to first down yardage.
Garrison Hurst is shaking it loose right now. He's what this game is turning into. Garrison Hurst getting through the line of scrimmage, finding a crack, a seam, doing a cutback, hopping around, making plays happen. He's getting very close to 100 yards. And he's been the difference for the 49er offense in the second half. And the reason he's been the difference is they've given him opportunities. They're taking the pressure off Detmer and giving it to Hurst.
3rd and a short 2. Edwards in motion. The pitch to Hurst. Wrapped up.
Kevin Green took this one away from him, but I don't know why you pitch it outside like this when you're having success running him up behind Mark Edwards. They send Mark Edwards the other way, and here's Kevin Green, and he's just shooting it inside, and Stratford gets a hat on him, but the penetration from Green slows down the path of Hurst, and Hurst can't get outside. He's got to cut back inside, and that's where the Panthers are sitting waiting for him, and they lose yardage, and now Wade Ritchie's going to come on and try and put the Niners ahead.
A 46-yard field goal attempt. He hit a 54-yarder in college at LSU.
And Clark's not on the field. He's running out late.
There was 1 second left on the play clock when the Niners called a timeout.
And they used as much time as they could, but Carolina, I'm surprised they didn't use a timeout and buy themselves a little time. I mean, 37 seconds left. That's precious little time to move down the field. And I'm surprised unless Carolina thinks, hey, this is too long of a field goal, and they'll take the shot and see if Wade Ritchie can nail him down. But I think they should have used a timeout and saved themselves a little time.
Well, it's all to Wade Ritchie here, the rookie out of LSU. Many years ago, the Niners had Tommy Davis in the same role. The rookie out of LSU hit some big kicks. Ritchie has been maligned, especially the last 2 or 3 weeks. Steve Mariucci told us time and time again on Friday when we met with him, the special teams have been killing us. We have got to make the field goals and the extra points.
Yeah, and this could go a long way for Wade Ritchie. He makes this kick, and that's an unbelievable injection of confidence, and he could, right now, make himself the 49er kicker of the future.
46-yard attempt. Looking good. Got it.
And the future is now. A pressure kick from Wade Ritchie, and the Niners take a 2-point lead. And this is great execution all the way through it. And they had trouble with this last week, missed 2 extra points. One on a mishandled snap and one on just a botched kick. But Ritchie drills this one. Never a doubt.
Never a question about the strength of foot. It's the accuracy that's been called into question.
And then you get the quarterback giving you a headbutt. And when the quarterback headbutts you, you know you've done something good. And on the other sideline, Dom Capers trying to get some body language, body English to get that thing out of there. But he should have used his language a little earlier and taken that time out. Now they're stuck with 33 seconds left on the clock where it could have been up near a minute.
San Francisco, which has turned the ball over 6 times today and playing without Steve Young, just might survive with 33 seconds left. And timeouts available for Carolina. They've got a pair of them.
Each team with a couple of timeouts left. And this, what's key for Carolina right now is to get a big kickoff return, to get themselves out there where they can do some things. And they've got a guy who can do it. Michael Bates led the NFL the last 2 years in kickoff returns. Not quite up to snuff this year, but he's a guy who can bust one out at any time, and they need it right now. I wouldn't be surprised if Richie kind of lays this one down. And he does.
But picked off right across midfield, and Carolina's got terrific field position.
Anthony Johnson makes a great play because the kicker's going to try and blast it through the front 2 rows of people. And what Johnson does is goes up into the air and snags that thing, and this gives Carolina great field position.
Johnson playing soccer goalie right there.
When you squib kick, you got to kick it higher in the air. Now you don't want to get it way up, but you've got to kick it a little harder than that. That's just a poor kick from Wade Ritchie and a great play and heads up from Anthony Johnson.
That's incredible. With 30 seconds left, the Panthers have got a pretty good shot here. 4 wide receivers. And Berline back. Pressure. Flag down. Johnson makes the catch. But there is Laundry on the field with 24 seconds to go.
And that's in the area of holding, and that's a crusher. And that's exactly what it is. That's a Carolina crusher.
Illegal hands to the face. Offense number 64. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Lucina, for the second time, whistled for an infraction today.
Now that's a tough one. But it isn't that tough. I mean, you still have 24 seconds left on the clock, but it means now, you know, you just got that much further to go to get your field goal kicker in any kind of range. And you're looking at about a 25-yard pickup is what the Carolina Panthers need to have any kind of shot.
And Casey does have the range that Wade Ritchie does not. Here's Berline. Flares it out and knocked out of bounds his carrier. He's close to the 45-yard line, and really, if you get to the 35-yard line, you're well in the range of John Casey.
Yeah, that's a nice play from the Panthers and an excellent pass from Berline. He doesn't have the strongest arm in the world, but he put some heat on that to get it out there to carry before Lance Schulters could come and close the gap. And this is about exactly where they would have been after that first down play that the penalty was called on.
19 seconds and 2 timeouts. Berline against dime coverage. Nobody open. Into double coverage, knocked away. R.W. McQuarters, the rookie, shaves it down to 11 seconds to go. It brings up 3rd and 8.
And that was a dangerous pass for Steve Berline. I mean, you're throwing across the grain, you know, in a comeback route with the receiver trying to break something off and make it happen. And Berline got some zip on it, and that might have been the only thing that saved him. And then McQuarters, staying with the coverage late in the down, comes up with a big pass breakup.
Again, Casey.
They need 10 yards right now, I believe, to get into Casey's range.
Ismail dragged down right at the 40.
And they only get 5 of those yards. And they're going to have to kick this thing.
It would be about a 58-yard attempt for John Casey.
Ball's marked just inside the 40. And Casey's picking the grass around at the 48-yard line, and that's exactly what it'll be, a 58-yarder for John Casey to pull this one out.
Well, he has hit from 54 and 56 this season. If they can complete the progression, 58 on the button would win it for Carolina.
It's actually officially a 57-yarder. And actually, if you want to count it down, it's 57 and a half. If they don't give you the half, and they don't give the kickers halves, and that's good.
Now, we saw a couple weeks ago Jason Elam nail a 63-yarder from 57.5. This is the ball game here.
And Buckner's already blocked one of these kicks today.
Good snap, good hold. It's going to be short. San Francisco hangs on. They keep pace with the Atlanta Falcons in the NFC West.
And another heartbreaking loss for the Carolina Panthers. Their 6th loss this season by 7 points or less. The 6th one that came down to the wire. And the execution on this is fine. Everything's good. And Casey, I think he got under it a little bit. That ball is too high up in the air for a long kick. I mean, those long ones, they come out a little lower, and you got to drive the ball a little bit.
And the 49ers is Mariucci.
Look at him. He's something else, isn't he?
Leaping onto the field. The 49ers do today what they could not do in Green Bay last weekend. That is come back from down 16-0. Your final 25-23. San Francisco will be back after this on Fox.